June of 22. They're back on the court tomorrow night at home against Dallas. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword cash at foxsports910.com. That's cash at foxsports910.com.
The Parker and Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Friday, look for a nice warm day out there. Temperatures topping out close to 97. Mostly sunny skies out there. For tonight, we'll see clear skies, but we are going to start to see those winds pick up just a little bit with those overnight lows right around 70 degrees. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
Social games online for free. Head to ChumbaCasino.com now to join the Chumba fun and experience the thrill of Chumba life. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Manuch with Jimmy B. You're live on Sports 910.
Good Friday to you. Memorial Day weekend. Roc and Manuch with you. We also got Richie and Jack with us today out at Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota. Hopefully many of you have got a half day today and heading up the hill. I'm told that ADOT has no construction zones.
Hallelujah.
For either the 17 or the what is it, the 80? What's the one on the Pine? What's that?
Oh, it's 281.
No, it's
or 87.
87.
Yeah, I think it's 87. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So I told they're clear as of night right now because the last couple of weeks have been somewhat of a nightmare, especially right at Anthem, right before Anthem.
Sure.
That's the problem.
I know every Friday night before I go to bed, I'm checking. Okay, where's my obstructions going to be?
Why would you have any issues? You're only going to Scottsdale.
No, I go to Gilbert. I go to Scottsdale. So there's a couple routes that I have to detour, like the 101 northbound from the 60 to the 202 last week on the 101 going north. It was shut down. So I had to figure the detour. So as long as I know where the detours are, I know exactly how to get there. But I check it every week coming up and down the freeways and going around. But they have been, you're right. It has been a big old melted chocolate mess out there in reference to construction.
So I did something today that I thought I would never do. And it's embarrassing that I'm paying somebody to do this for me.
Give me a hint.
No, you see if you guys can figure it out.
Something you would never do.
Yeah, it was about an hour.
Okay.
Your lawn? No, well, I did that in Charlotte last week.
Yeah, Rock's pretty handy about that lawn thing.
Mike's lawn service was pretty good when I was in high
school. Man.
Take out your trash?
No, I paid somebody I had to pay somebody.
Pay somebody to do something. Oh man, I there's so many things out there, right? People pay for.
I know. That's what if you guys could figure it out. You've known me for over 20 years. I would think you would.
Well,
a better idea. You can finish my sentences most of the days.
You get your car done every day. You get that paid for.
Yeah. Did do that today? Yes.
Yeah. I know she got.
I have the pass.
You have the hair on your arm, so you didn't do a shave thing.
Didn't do that.
Didn't do that shave thing.
Is it your new haircut?
No, I had that a couple days ago. Barber,
yeah. Something he would do.
No, something I would not do, but I did do. And then I end up signing up for 8 more sessions.
Oh, okay.
Massage?
Close.
Yoga?
Okay. Oh, stretching.
Yes.
Stretching.
Pilates?
Stretch.
I've seen that. I'm interested in trying that.
I got to tell you, because, I have a lot of buddies that are my age that are either hunched over, that are just look like crap. And then I'm realizing, I'm trying to play with my dog.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm 55. I'm right there. I'm getting the AARP discounts. and I'm like, okay, I got to figure something out. And golf game is what it is. It hasn't improved. So, and I always think about you because you stretch every morning.
Every morning.
So went to this guy who's a former boxer, and it's a chain. Okay. And the first one was free. So I was like, I signed up and went to it just now. I was just there, just down the street from Wright Toyota. And I got to tell you, man, It's awesome.
How was it?
Well, they give you like they're doing all these stretches with you, and it's 3, 5, 7.
Sure.
When it comes to the pain
Okay.
level, right? So when you're at 3, you're like you got to tell them 3.
Sure.
You did 5, and when you're at 7, you moan, right? You're in pain, right? And then you won't get to 10. So I'm 30% of the 90 degree where I need to be. I'm really bad.
Yeah.
I'm
You're a
way
little
off.
tight, Rock.
Yeah, and he said that my right is so much
tighter,
dominant than my other.
Okay.
He goes, I'm right-handed. So anyway, no one cares. But I gotta tell you, it is something that I am so excited to find out if it'll actually work and it really help your posture.
Sure.
Because I mean, you think about us, we are not that anybody cares.
Hunched over
all the
Sure.
time, doing a radio show, the microphone, all that, or you're on your computer, and I don't know if you're in your 40s or 50s. You know, I had run into a doctor at Mayo about 2 months ago, and he was saying the biggest problem he finds with people that come in, and he's been a physician forever, is guys that are, you know, between like 35 and 65 that are just falling apart because they are not stretching.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with necessarily your weight or your athletic ability. But he was saying, hey, he goes, every morning for 10 minutes, just lay on the floor and get up. Lay on the floor and get up. Lay on the floor and get up. You know, it was just simple things like that, which I, of course, did not listen to. And now here I am. You know,
did it for a day, Rock. I know
now
you.
I have somebody else that you pay to do it. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know why I'm talking about this on the show to start, but it's like something I was like been wanting to do for years. I'm like, I wish they would start a company, because I was going to the Joint for a while. I wish they start a company where they would stretch you. Because stretching is because you know when I used to go to Spencer Tatum, you know, a lot of people, a lot of athletes have gone to him, and I would spend the first an hour training, 40 minutes would be just stretching.
Sure, yeah,
and then you work out. You know,
it's interesting you bring this up because I've been seeing this. I'm like, you know what, that looks great. Even though as much as I stretch, I like to go in there and get aligned and stretch and all that. And I think for a lot of people that, you know, I have to stretch my neck, my back.
I told him about you being a professional athlete. You played in the NFL, and then what you've had to go through and all that. And I think it's perfect for you or someone that may have migraines that, you know, work on the neck. And you know, it's just so many. And then, but one thing he did tell me to do that he said, and I've seen this a lot, is I don't know if any of you out there are doing the cold plunge.
I used to do it.
But
I used to.
He said that the cold plunge is the number one thing you can do to help your body.
Really?
And fast a couple days a week for 12 hours. It's all gut health. And he said, well, if you don't have the cold punch, which nobody does, John Jay does. John Jay and Ridge, you listen to John Jay here on iHeartRadio. You know, I see his stuff on Instagram. But he said, the last 1 minute of your shower, make it cold.
Okay.
As cold as you can, and do that every single
day.
And he said it'll be a game changer in 2-3 weeks.
It'll wake you up as well too, I'm sure.
I'm not worried about that. I'm up already.
So stretch good, cold shower, cold plunge. Yeah, if you have a gym that has a cold plunge, did he say?
I always thought the heat, because I've always done the heat thing. You know, I thought that was, you know, the sweat and all that was good. But he said that's good too. But he said cold plunge is the best.
You stretch, cold plunge. I used to do cold plunge after running for some distance and do that whole thing. But that's good to hear that some of those things. But this stretch zone that they got, it's pretty.
Yeah, I'm going to Stretch Zone. There's Stretch Lab. There's multiple ones that have just popped up. This one's been around since COVID.
So how you feeling right now?
You feel great. I said I go, how's this going to affect me tomorrow morning at 7:22? Yeah. He goes, you'll be fine.
Sore?
He goes, you may be a little sore, but you know, but if it helps, you know, that's another thing. We all know. Come on, let's just be honest. If you golf, the more flexibility you have, the better golfer you're going to be. So that's another reason, probably the main reason.
Jax, you a stretcher? Did you stretch long in your day?
I stretch every morning, like you said. Stretch throughout college. I was the most flexible ever. Sometimes I'll get lower back pain. I think that's just the impact of football and stuff like that. But
what kind of stretches do you do?
Hamstring stretches, the foam roll. Foam roll is a big thing.
Back stretches.
Mm-hmm. I want a cold plunge, but like you said, there's no cold plunges around here.
Yeah, where do you
either got to buy one.
That would be the business. You come in and do a cold plunge for 5 minutes. Bam, man, you make some money doing
that. Rock was going down there.
If it does work for your health, then we'll see.
Absolutely.
Anyway, hey, our top stories today: Diamondbacks, they get going this weekend as the Miami Marlins are in town at Chase Field. They'll go at it. Zach Gallen will be on the mound tonight against Braxton Garrett, the lefty for the Marlins. And this team right now sits 24-26 in the season. the Dodgers, how great it was them to take that. So that was good to see. So that is probably your main story today, kind of going into the weekend, not to mention the NBA and the NHL playoffs, which continue.
I think for the D-backs, you get that series from the Dodgers, and you play this kid, this Braxton Garrett kid, whose ERA is 10.24. Take advantage of taking on the Marlins, but they've won, I think, 7 out of the last 10. So they're coming in kind of hot. But you know what? Hey, home, Memorial Day weekend. I think they got fireworks going on either Saturday or Sunday or something like that. But, take advantage of it. You're 2 games behind 500. Win this series because you move on. You got to go play the Rangers, and you get on the road for 6 games. You get the Rangers, I believe, for 2. And then you got to go back to New York, take on the Mets, who are struggling and scuffling, for 4 games. So go on the road for 6 games. So hopefully this is a chance for them to get off the schneid, continue to stay hot as guys get healthy and get that pitching from their starting rotation.
So you talked about the Marlins coming in. They've won 6 of their last 8. They just took the series over the Brewers. Braxton Garrett, this is only going to be his 3rd start. So don't get too up on the fact that he's got a 10.24 ERA.
Young guy, jump on him.
3rd start. Yeah. So let's see how that works because he's returning from shoulder injury. Yeah. Marlins did win his 2 starts, though. He may have gave up a lot of runs, but he did win. The team did win. So Gallen, he comes in 5-3, just over a 3 ERA. He's making his 10th start. So good baseball. This will be fun. They're favored, of course. They should be, but they are 16-10 against teams without winning records. And the Marlins are not a good road team. They're 7-15. So if you're into all that stats and things like that, that's important. Of course, the Diamondbacks are starting to score some runs. They've scored 6 or more in the last 3 of their last 4 games. And Gallen has been real good in his 3 games against Miami.
And the common denominator last year, which is starting to come into effect this year for the Diamondbacks, is getting on top of an opponent early and then holding that lead. But that's been their pretty much what we've seen when they do win, especially this last series against the Dodgers, is that they've gotten on top early. They've held the lead. They've gotten the bats as far as the power going. Christian Walker and Jock Peterson taking a couple deep. Hopefully you will see Corbin Carroll after his triple the other day and knocking in a few runs, get him off the schneid on a more consistent basis. He's hitting about 193 right now. But again, just when you think this is a great weekend, they got to take advantage of that and go get 2 out of the 3, get back to 500.
Some other stories that we are going to dive into throughout the afternoon. We will talk about the NCAA agreeing to let Power 5 schools pay players, and that will lead us to a discussion about salary caps, free agency, as well as will this go down to high school level? Will we see the fact that college is now paying players? Will we now see the same in high school? Now, in some high schools, it may be already going on. You hear the jokes about a kid going to Saguaro or Chaparral or Highland or Chandler or Pinnacle or, I can go on. And there's something going on, fishy, when a kid lives in Peoria and he's playing for the Chaparral Firebirds.
Well, the other thing, too, Rock,
come on.
You've seen some kids that have gone to the parochial schools here, the Brophies of St. Mary's, that get scholarships. That the tuition, I think, at Brophy is
it's
like
expensive,
$14,000 per semester or something like that.
Very high.
Anyways, but they go what's parochial school, a lot of those schools, but they get scholarships. Some of these young men, I've known a couple have gotten scholarships to go there, which is great. But to your point, Rock, that's kind of a form of paying a kid to come into high school. Now the transfer rule is, and so just get up to speed. If you're a sophomore and you're going to transfer, or you're a freshman, sophomore, you're going to transfer to that school. If you're going to varsity, now they changed last year. If you transfer and you play JV, you can play the entire JV year without sitting, but you can't play varsity. So they've kind of tweaked that a little bit. So if you're a junior, you're not going to want to play JV. You'll sit your 5 games out, and then eventually, hopefully, go play during your varsity season.
So we'll get more into that today. We will also talk about what Taylor Swift has to do with sports. What they have in common. It has nothing to do with the NFL schedule. It has nothing to do with her boyfriend, Travis Kelce. It's much, much bigger, and it will affect you. Get into that by today, and we'll do some picks with him when it comes to the NBA and NHL playoffs. The voice of the Suns, Kevin Ray, will find out what are some of the biggest offseason needs for this team. So a lot to get into on a Friday here at Wright Toyota. It's today. Jimmy B out there playing a little golf today, I think. I will tell you this. If you are a masshole, which you know who you are, you'll want to tune in here in about 15 minutes as our good buddy
John Sapichetti.
Not even on the lineup. John Sapichetti will join us to discuss the Boston Celtics, which the NBA Conference Finals are heating up as they cruised yesterday to a 126-110 win over the Pacers in Game 2. So we'll get into that as well as the Mavs series, who hold a 1-0 lead. They'll get into it tonight. So we'll get into that as well, and some NASCAR and some Indy 500 as there's some cheating scandals starting to kind of get some
traction,
momentum. Yes,
pardon the pun.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that coming up. So there's a lot to get into. So we'll do that. But next, we will have our Document Solutions plays of the day and week. So it's a Friday, so I'm going to give you the top 5 sounds that I put together for the week. No particular order, but some of the things that stood out that we talked about over the course of the past 5 days. It's Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports 910.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Time for today's play of the day, courtesy of Document Solutions, leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. Their service can't be copied. 623-252-8282. Now let's get to the play of the day.
How's morale, Charles?
Well, 2 things, Dan. Number 1, Mercedes is a great car, okay? But don't buy it if you can't afford it. Let's get that out the way. All right. Only get a Mercedes. Mercedes is an amazing car. I've had a few in my life. But don't buy it unless you can afford it. Stop trying to impress other people. Morale sucks. Plain and simple. I just feel so bad for the people I work with, Dan. These people have families. And I just really feel bad for them right now. You know, these people I work with, they screwed this thing up clearly. And we don't have zero idea what's going to happen. I don't feel good, I'm not going to lie, especially when they came out yesterday and said we bought college football. I was like, well, damn, they could have used that money to buy the NBA.
Charles Barkley on the Dan Patrick Show yesterday. He's really frustrated over the fact that TNT is on the verge of losing the rights to broadcast NBA games. Of course, this means the possibility that inside the NBA might also disappear. Of course, the reports are that the new media rights deal maybe with Disney, ESPN, Amazon, and that leaves him without a job with that. I think he'll be fine. I'm sure whoever does get him will try to make a play to work for him, because it looks as though Shaq as well as Kenny Smith are all free agents. Ernie Johnson has said that he will stay at TNT, but he has admitted that his contract allows him to be that free agent if the network decides to lose the rights. So he has an out, even if TNT kind of sticks around and try to pick up other sports. Of course, they got NHL now. But he is, he's throwing out the fact that, the production people and, the clowns, he called them, the clowns that are the leaders of TNT. He's calling everybody out.
Yeah.
People are listening.
I had a chance to go online last and listen to the whole thing on the Dan Pat. Yeah, I did.
Glad you had time to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I do that at night. So I do a lot of prep at night, Rock.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. So
somebody does.
Yeah, I'm on there. Like, you know me, I'm up late looking at all that stuff. You're right. And, you sit there and think, and I think that I look at that show. That's, to me, one of the best sports shows, period, in reference to pregame, postgame for football or baseball or basketball. The notion that they've been throwing around, what about them keeping the band together and then just previewing a game, even though it's not on, come back, maybe a postgame. But I think the thing is if you want people to be switching back and forth to channels, say NBC's showing the game, and TNT's got the pregame and then halftime and then postgame, would people go back and forth without them actually showing the game? And I said, that's probably one of those things where people are like, they're just tuning in. They just happen to see, they see this show, versus if they don't know to go back and forth, that these guys would still be doing a show, even though they're not showing the basketball game. That'd be tough as far as, you'd have to market the hell out of that. Hey, still tune in, even though the game's not here.
I doubt that'll fly.
I agree with that.
All right, let's get to our top sounds of the week. Okay, of the week, just kind of a combination of all different sports, some things you may have heard, maybe you have not heard. But we'll start with Corbin Carroll, who earlier in the week had a 2-run triple, and we're just kind of hoping that is what's going to fuel the return of him in his freshman year. I mean, of course, he's in that sophomore slump right now, but here he is with that 2-run triple that got the score 2-0. This was in the 5th inning against the Dodgers.
Second and third, one down. Corbin is 0 for 2. Corbin Carroll sends it to right center. That drops it. It gets to the wall. Moreno's home. Newman coming home. Corbin Carroll hits for third with a 2-run triple, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Yeah, MLB Network with the call there. Next, Jaylen Brown, his clutch 3-pointer, which tied Game 1, which sent it into overtime as Boston then went on to win Game 1 in overtime. But here is what got the score to 117 to 117. This is courtesy of ESPN.
Tatum trying to get free. Throwing in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the 3. Jaylen Brown knocks down the 3 to tie the game.
Again, Boston goes on to win that. They're up now 2-0 as they won last night. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a few minutes as we go out to Boston. This is for Richie. It's purely for Richie. Some NASCAR, as Richard Childress had a message for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. If he touches Kyle Busch's number 8 car, I'll whoop his ass personally. This is courtesy of Chris Weaver on X.
Yeah, I mean, I would have jumped right in the middle of it. I started fighting. I don't fight as fair as I used to. I'm a little older, but Ricky Stenhouse said that he was going to wreck the 8 car at Charlotte. Well, when I see him, I'm going to tell him if he does, I'm older, but I've just changed my style of fight. He'll carry a rough ass beat.
Ricky Stenhouse, Jr. He did get a $75,000 fine for that fighting Kyle Busch. Ricky, is this is good for the left-hand sport, right? I mean, people love this, right?
We need a rivalry, right, Richie?
Dude, I love it. I'm curious if it's going to get anybody more to tune in to the Coca-Cola 600 on Sunday. I don't think so. Ricky Stenhouse and Kyle Busch have both kind of said, we're done. This is over. As great as it was and as much content as it gave us all week long, it's time to move on now, thankfully. Even though NASCAR is promoting the crap out of it all week long, right? Like even you guys are talking about on the show today. It's really been a crossover type of moment. And NASCAR is dumb enough to go and find him anyway. Like, dude, that doesn't make sense. But why are you finding somebody if you're going out and promoting, which is what Kyle Busch said earlier this week.
Again, only $75,000. That's probably why. That's nothing. Dude,
$75,000.
Come on, Manuch. That's $10 to you.
Well, the good thing is,
that's nothing.
He can write that off. That's a good thing about
but even $75,000, and he didn't. They did that just because I think it did fuel the conversation.
Sure.
And he did get fined. Now, if it was a bigger number, that would be a whole other story. But that number was nothing. I think they did it just for the principle, so we talk about it. Now, I am anxious to see what happens this weekend with Kyle Larson. He is going to have a busy day, and the fact that he is going to race in the Indy 500, which is the 108th running, which you're going to talk about. Rich, you'll like this in the top of the, I think, second or third hour. We'll talk about the cheating scandal. But when it comes to what Kyle Larson's going to do, is he's going to race in the Indy 500. Then get in a helicopter and head over to Charlotte Motor Speedway and then be part of the Coca-Cola 600 all in the same day. However, there is some weather issues that could play into this. But it's a shame that Indy 500, the Indy, it's the last year for NBC. It used to be on ABC. It was the race, the greatest race, right? And then now it's on NBC, and I think it's done a disservice for the sport. And I'm anxious to see if the Indy 500 can come back to where it was.
Yeah.
I used to every year, my buddies, we would put money in a hopper and pull names or numbers, and we'd watch the whole race, and there's money associated with it. Now it's hey, you want to go watch Indy 500?
Let's just see what it brings. But I remember
can't tell it. Nobody can tell anybody who's in the
who's
race.
who besides the big name, the Custer Nevises of the world, or whatever. But I remember John Andretti did this about 10, 12 years ago, and he was doing the NASCAR 500 kind of thing. That's a phenomenal athletic feat in itself to do two races.
Hey, let's skip to Barry Bonds. Yes, we haven't heard that name, Barry Bonds, in a long time, but you may have missed it this week. But he was selected to the Hall of Fame, the Pirates Hall of Fame.
Barry, would you open that up and what's that say there, Barry?
Pirates Hall of Fame have been selected to be included in Pittsburgh Hall of Fame. That is awesome.
Mr. Nutting would like you to attend the Hall of Fame class of 2024.
How about that?
He made his Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
1 minute. Pittsburgh Pirates Hall of Fame.
Jim Leland also going to be going in. So, I think that's good.
Before he has his use of whatever, he was a hell of a player in Pittsburgh without having to use all the stuff, allegedly. Throw that in there. But I think that, good for them that they acknowledge him. I saw a little clip of he and Dusty Baker at the BP with the Giants were in town. It was about a week ago. Still hanging out with the Giants. They walked in the back. Dusty was there. Watched a little BP. They were chatting up. Good to see some of the guys coming back to the ballpark and be a part of that.
Hey, is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity? You could go to Document Solutions of the Valley. You can call them 623-252-8282 and get yourself or business a new all-in-one printer. Right now, you can buy, lease, or even rent many makes and models that work off your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. It's Document Solutions of the Valley. Their service can't be copied. And when you call, ask for our buddy Greg House. He is the top dog, and he will take care of you. So, again, for your business, for your home. But I use it. We all use printers. They do a great job, and we recommend them. So, Celtics, they've taken a 2-0 commanding lead over the Pacers. Longtime Boston sportscaster John Sapichek. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910.
The Diamondbacks look to keep some momentum going as they play the Marlins tonight at home. The 5-3 Zach Gallen will be on the mound at his 4th career appearance against the franchise he broke into the majors with in 2019. The Athletic reporting that the Suns will have a workout with Bronny James before the NBA draft. LeBron's son played 1 season at USC. On the playoff schedule tonight, the Mavericks visit the Timberwolves. Minnesota trails 1 game tonight in the Western Conference Finals. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's the Rangers hosting the Panthers in Game 2 of the East Finals. Florida up 1-0. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Beat the heat with a patio misting system from Fogco. Let Fogco design the perfect misting system for your patio, pool, or leisure areas. Stay cool all summer with Fogco patio misters. Get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com. Fogco, serving the Valley for over 35 years.
Hi, I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Recently, Lerner & Rowe was named the 2nd most influential law firm in the United States. Although we have offices in other parts of the country, Glenn and I both live here and raise our families here. We are your local law firm. No other law firm in the state comes close to the experience, reputation, and results as Lerner & Rowe. When you're hurt in a wreck and need a check, call the law firm that can get you the results you need. Call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Look at your cup holder. It's empty. And you're feeling thirsty. Head to a nearby convenience store and fill it with a Pepsi Zero Sugar, Mountain Dew, or Starry. Grab a delicious, refreshing Pepsi for the road.
Hello, Phoenix. We have some exciting news. Local high school sports has a new home right here on Fox Sports 910 AM. The Coach B and Eternal radio show can now be heard right here on Fox Sports 910 every Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. Don't miss it.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Just highlight quickly.
Pacers led by 2 after the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, Celtics scored the first 17 points of the period. Brown knocks it down. He's got 40.
How about Jaylen Brown erupting for 40 points to help the top-seeded Boston Celtics jump out to a 2-0 series lead over Indiana. Joining us now, basketball columnist, co-host of the Pick and Roll. Always nice enough to talk to us when we are talking Boston sports. John Sapichetti here on Roc and Manuch. How you doing, John? How are you doing today?
Good, Roc and Manuch. How are you fellas doing?
We are doing fine. We just don't have anybody in the playoffs. We lost our hockey team. The Cardinals are going to win 3 games. D-backs are struggling with injuries, so we need to adopt another team. So is there room on that Boston Celtics bandwagon?
That's probably your only team in Boston you want to root for at this point because the Patriots aren't much better than the Cardinals. The Red Sox aren't as good as the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks in the World Series last year. Obviously the Suns aren't as good as the Celtics and your hockey team, but the Bruins have won one cup in the last 54 years. So the winning has not continued over the last 5 years. Boston sports fans are getting very antsy because the last championship came in February of 2019 with the Patriots winning the Super Bowl over the Rams, and it's been 5.5 long years since the championship. But I do think the Celtics certainly are the favorite right now to get to the finals, and I think they would be the favorite over either Minnesota or Dallas. But yeah, jump on board.
Sure, thank you, appreciate it. I got to tell you, being a Philly guy, that would never happen for me. But I want to ask you, John, is there's been so much success there in the New England area with all sports for so many years, the dynasty with the Patriots and even the Red Sox for a little while there. But clearly, Boston has been the favorite from day one, particular season, and it came up short last year. What would happen to that fan base if they would fall to, Dallas or whoever it is, obviously, or Minnesota? How would that play into sports talk in Boston?
Well, it's already played into it, and we all expect them to win the championship. I mean, if they win the title, you still will hear a lot of criticism on sports talk radio, even from some of the fan base. It's going to feel like Denzel Washington landing the plane in flight upside down. Like, okay, we landed it, but it was a bit rocky because the Celtics at times haven't looked all that great in the postseason. But again, who are they playing? I mean, everything's broken right for them, right? In the first round, they didn't have to face Jimmy Butler. In the second round, Jared Allen was out for the entire series, and Donovan Mitchell misses 2 games. Tyrese Halliburton probably is done after 2 games in this Eastern Conference Finals. But if they don't win the championship, I think that you may see a coaching change with Joe Mazzulla. Only a 35, 36-year-old coach who's won a lot of games in 2 years, but has been questioned a lot with some of his in-game strategy. I think he's gotten better this year, thus a 64-win total. It's not going to necessarily fall on the players in terms of movement because Jason Tatum's going to get a max contract. Jaylen Brown got a max contract last offseason. But, Tatum will probably get most of the blame because he's considered the best player. If they don't fulfill their dreams, you have to look at the best player and find out if he doesn't have it to put you over the top. But I think he does. And I think they have the best roster in the league. And people here, I remind them all the time, don't be the San Francisco 49ers because of the last half decade. The 49ers have been sensational, right? I mean, best roster in football, 2 Super Bowl trips. They're always there and they come up short. If the Celtics lose in the finals at some point, they're the mirror image of the San Francisco 49ers, and you don't want that.
All right, so you got the law firm of Brown, Tatum, White so far. We got this new partner, Peyton Pritchard, who is stepping up during the playoffs. This kid is just phenomenal, John, when you watch him. So welcome to the fold, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's an energy guy. I mean, he can shoot the 3-pointer. He gets a lot of loose balls, and he's also a guy that somehow comes down with rebounds, like offensive rebounds to get the team the possession. He's a good guy on the bench as your 7th guy at this point, especially with Kristaps Porzingis out until probably the finals. They're playing Al Horford far too many minutes. He's 38 years old. I don't think you want to see him playing 36, 37 minutes. But Pritchard gives you a nice boost when he comes off the bench. And again, because we now have positionless basketball for the most part, you can go with the lineup where Tatum is your 5. He's not a traditional center. I mean, he's more of a stretch 4. But you could go with Tatum, Brown, Pritchard, Holiday, and White. I mean, that's a high-scoring offense. It's kind of smallish, but, in doses, it can certainly work.
Well, on top of that, I like the way Mazzulla runs, the offense. Now, they struggled when Tatum was out the first game, but he ran, an extra 5 or 6 guys in there last night to get the big lead. It just seemed like he maybe had the cachet to play that many guys, but is that usually an anomaly for him, or is he play that many on the bench?
Well, I think obviously the Porzingis injury is a concern, and then Horford playing too many minutes is also a concern. Now Luke Cornett, another big they have, is a bit banged up. So, go a little deeper into the bench. Indiana's a pretty deep team on their own, although now we have Halliburton. But for the most part, we've seen the Celtics play 8 guys during the season. You may want to add one more piece to that because, again, you don't have Porzingis, but you want to get some quality minutes for Pritchard. Hauser, if possible, is in a shooting slump, and that's basically his biggest asset is a 3-point shooter. So, yeah, they'll run some bigger numbers. And again, I think Mazzulla, who struggled in his rookie year as head coach, heck, he was named head coach like 2 weeks before training camp opened, or just as training camp opened. He'd never been a head coach at the NBA level for sure. He'd been about the fourth assistant when he was promoted to head coach. I think he's done a much better job this year. Look, the team went 64-18. That's impressive. I don't care how weak the Eastern Conference is. That's a darn good record. I think he's improved as a coach. He's using his timeouts wiser, and I think he's doing a much better job shuttling in some of those guys off the bench.
John Sapchetti joining us here. You can follow him on Twitter, X JohnSap25. Do you get caught up in home court and road records? Celtics are 4-0 on the road this year in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana is 6-0. I mean, they got nothing else out there other than Caitlin Clark to talk about. So, I mean, it's 6-0, small town. You know they're going to be rowdy. Do you feel that's going to be a possible edge for them?
Over the last 3 years, guys, the Celtics have played better on the road in the postseason than they have at home. They're only 4 games over 500 at home. I mean, they lost 3 or 4 at home to Miami last year. Even in the Eastern Conference Finals the year before, they lost 2 out of 3 at home to Miami. They've struggled at home. I mean, that was kind of a surprise that they won Game 2 last night because generally they lose Game 2. They did against Cleveland. They did against Miami this season. They played better on the road in the postseason than they have at home over the last 3 seasons. I think because, again, they're an extremely talented team. I mean, talented players can play at the same level on the road as they do at home. Indiana's played with a lot of energy, but let's face facts. Indiana, and I'm not taking anything away from them in this sense, but they did beat a Milwaukee team without Giannis and a banged-up Dame Lillard. And then by the time the Knicks faced Indiana in round 2, the Knicks were a match unit. I was, waiting for Walt Frazier to come out of the broadcast booth and try to help them in the backcourt. The Celtics, again, without Porzingis, that's a problem, but you still have Tatum, Brown, White, Holiday, who's a champion, who's played sensationally in the first 2 games of this series. I expect the Celtics to at least split in Indiana and probably wrap this thing back home on Wednesday night, which would give them a full week to get ready for the NBA Finals.
Yeah, John, you talked about the disappointment losing to Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Jason Tatum really struggled. They clamped him down, and Jimmy Buckets went off. Has he carried that over this year in the playoffs? Has he made any kind of mention of that? Does he get any kind of a bird or something to prove this year?
No, he's so even-keeled, guys. He's not an emotional guy on the court other than when he's complaining about getting fouled. I mean, I don't know who complains to the officials more, Jason Tatum or Luka Doncic. It's, a race to the front for those 2 guys. But he's a pretty even-keeled guy. He sometimes steps back. That's kind of the criticism, right, is that he's extremely talented. No question he's one of the most talented guys in the league. And look, 3 years in a row, first team All-NBA. But I think at times he gets away from what he does best. Yeah. His three-point shooting this postseason is around 25%, which is horrible. I think he takes too many threes. I wish he would go to the basket a bit more. Maybe he's averse to contact. He's had some issues with his left wrist. Maybe he's a little shy going to the basket. In that sense, he's a good post player, but oftentimes he just goes with that fadeaway a bit too much. And we're talking about a 6'9", 6'10" guy. He's got the total package to be a dominant player, and at times he is. But I think what happened last year in that Eastern Conference Final against Miami, they got to Game 7 after being down 3-0, and within the first minute of Game 7 at TD Garden, he sprained his ankle. He tried to play through it. He just wasn't effective. Jaylen Brown was god-awful in that game. 8 turnovers, no assists, and from there, Miami was able to win and go on to the NBA Finals. Tatum, the player I compare Tatum to a lot is Paul George. I think he's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But Paul George has had his shortcomings in the postseason as well, and I think the same thing with Jason Tatum. Some guys don't play up to their regular season play. They play less than in the postseason. The all-time greats, whether it's Jordan or LeBron, play better in the postseason than they do in the regular season. Tatum hasn't been able to be that guy yet.
John, last one. Looking ahead, let's just assume that Boston gets to the finals. Who would be a tougher matchup for him, Dallas or Minnesota?
Well, they beat Dallas handily in 2 regular season games, but that was earlier in the year. Dallas is much better than they were for the first 2/3 of the season, and you've got 2 great players in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving who go get their own and are playing at a very, very high level. And at least Kyrie Irving has that experience of playing in the NBA Finals and winning a championship with Cleveland back in 2016. This is all new from Minnesota, right? Anthony Edwards is the rising star of the NBA. And look like they were able to beat Denver in the second round. That's quite an accomplishment. I think Dallas is going to win that series because no one's picking them, and Dallas is playing at a very, very high level at this point. because they have two guys who know buckets at the end of a game, which is one more than Minnesota has, which they only have really Anthony Edwards to get those buckets. I mean, Carl Anthony Towns is outstanding as well. I just think Dallas has those two guys that they can lean on. I think a tougher matchup for the Celtics, though, would be Minnesota. They split their two games, both games in overtime. And again, with that size, with Rudy Gobert and Carl Anthony Towns, that could pose some problems for the Celtics without question. I think the Celtics would probably prefer to play Dallas. And I know from an interesting story, it would be great seeing Kyrie Irving return to Boston with the Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks. That would be pretty fascinating. I mean, he's the biggest villain in Boston in terms of basketball, without question. I mean, the fan base despises him. He was here for 2 years, promised that he's coming back, and then left and has criticized the city ever since. So I would rather see Dallas to see if the Celtics could win their 18th championship. Plus, I think the storyline would be phenomenal. Although Anthony Edwards going up against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, three great young players, that would be a good story too.
Yeah, that'll be fun either way. John, have a good weekend. Thanks for the time as always.
You as well, fellas. Always great joining you.
John Sapichetti. You can follow him on Twitter at JohnSap25. Appreciate him. Kind of leads us to our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question today. Who is the greatest Boston Celtic of all time? We should have asked him. Bill Russell, Larry Bird, John Havlicek, or Kevin McHale. Those are your four choices. Go to our Twitter page or X page at Roc and Manuch and vote who's the greatest Boston Celtic of all time. Coming up, a little football at 50. Into the NCAA agreeing to let Power 5 schools pay players. What does this mean here locally as well as at the high school level? We'll dive into that next. This is Fox Sports 910 and now on FM at 99.9 HD3.
Some bonus box. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar bills yell. When you hear the keyword at the top of the hour, weekdays from 9 to 5, enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsor.
To check, call Lurin Road today, 977-1900.
Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale on Bell Road is your home for billiards, poker, and trivia. And now the Roc and Manuch Amber by Huss Brewing. Stop by today and experience top sports viewing, off-track betting, daily specials, and ice-cold Roc and Manuch Amber drafts. Arena Sports Grill.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at WrightToyota.com.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you can go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid.
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Let's get ready for football. It's football at 50. The latest top football story trending this hour. Right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeart Radio app.
Well, the NCAA is in agreement with the Power 5 conferences on a historic deal. Schools are now allowed to directly pay players for the first time in the history of college sports. Now, according to ESPN, the NCAA will pay more than $2.7 billion in damages over 10 years to past and current athletes. Now, the parties that have also agreed to this revenue sharing plan that allows each school, it'll be about $20 million per year with the athletes. So all Division I athletes dating back to 2016 will be eligible to receive a share as part of the settlement. Now, they have not come out with those numbers, how they're going to determine that, how many sports are involved, but it is historic to come down to this. And I am so torn on this. I know there's so many, majority of you feel that players should be paid. Just they should be paid because, look at all the money that the schools make from these networks, right? Mm-hmm. And I also know that the money that these schools make for those networks goes to building these unbelievable facilities that these student athletes get to use. They get these cafeterias that are like a food court. I mean, they get these facilities that are just off the charts, like you're at the gym at the Village.
Sure, yeah.
You know, I mean, just it's to a whole nother level. They get wined and dined. They get everything they need, and they get an education. And let's be honest, 2% max, 1.5% maybe, are actually going to get to the next level.
Yeah, and it's also that's part of that whole revenue sharing thing that they're talking about too, aside with the suit. Have you ever been part of a class action suit, never got paid?
Yeah.
I think we were part of a Wells Fargo class action suit. We weren't even aware of.
But you never make anything. Maybe get a check for 20.
I got a check
$22.
for it's like $20.
Yeah.
You know, out of like, I don't know, 20 million people, whatever. But I think that the thing I've always believed in is, look, you got the free education, free ride, books, tuition fees. I always felt, look, if you give them an extra stipend of maybe $1,000 more a month, I think that's more than fair. But obviously, somebody got the calculator out, started adding things up and saying, well, I didn't get a chance to sell my jersey, and now these guys got NIL, and I didn't get a chance for this.
So what?
And I agree, Rock. I'm just
so
saying,
what? Why do they have to go back?
Well, here's the thing, because if this would have gotten to the courts and this antitrust violation, all that they had, it would have probably broken the NCAA. They might have filed bankruptcy. So the best thing that these conferences have done is they have settled and said, look, we don't want to be digging in our coffers and have to go borrow this or that or go to a bank to finance our fine if it goes to court. So now they're saying, look, we'll go ahead and settle. Players from the last 10 years to the next 10 years, whatever that amount is, it's found money for those players that played 10 years ago for all the D1 schools. But my question is, hey, look, you're getting, if you gross up all the amount of money over a 4-year scholarship with everything you get, I think it's $350,000, $400,000 after it's all said and done. Maybe throw one more year in there. But, you know, if you get an extra $1,000 a month or whatever, I would think that would suffice. But obviously somebody else did not going, well, hell, they made 25 times more than that off my jersey or this or that. So that's the tail wagged the dog, and that won. So this is where we're going. But I just want to know, Rock, how do you administer it from here on out? How do you prevent this from happening again? Maybe 10 years from now, somebody else files a class action suit against the NCAA or that particular school. This thing is so out of control, but at least there's some resolution with this now to move forward and to look back.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't care what you say. Because the NIL, when you have small D1 schools paying over $1 million for their basketball program to the athletes to play there, is absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
And they
it's
make
way,
it
though.
so easy for these kids. Oh, just let me play 1 year at Duke, and then I'll transfer to Kentucky, and then maybe I'll transfer after that.
I mean, it just so you bring up a great point. I think if you're going to transfer, or let's just say you get NIL money as a freshman, you're coming in, or you're in the portal and you come to, let's say you're at KU and you come to Arizona State and you get paid, let's say $100,000. There should be a stipulation. You need to stay at least, I would say, at least 2 years
if you get paid.
If you get paid.
But right now, I know of a situation where a kid was asked to stay. They gave him the money to stay. He then went in the portal and left after he got the money.
And then he got more money where he ended
wherever
up.
He ended
So
up.
that's wrong. That is totally wrong. So that's where
That's what I'm saying. These kids are smart.
Okay.
And there are these companies in Atlanta. There's a major company in Atlanta that basically is basically kind of running a lot of this, where technically a check is being written out to this, not to the school itself, but to the so-called collective, right? Let's just say it's a collective in Atlanta or wherever the company is. And then they are physically writing the check to the student athlete.
See, it's
the student.
It's out
or
of
the
whack.
athlete.
There's
Excuse
got to
me.
be some kind of stipulations that you can't do that, or it's free agency.
But
every
why
year.
is it that all of us talking
man.
heads all can talk about this, but the folks that are the doctorates, the guys that went to Ivy League schools, that are the ADs and the chancellors, can't seem to figure it out?
I think they got the wrong guys trying to figure it out. Yeah, I think you got to get the attorneys in the room. Problem is now it backfired on them. And you got this class action that everybody's settling with. Wrong guys in the room to figure it out, Rock.
Hey, coming up in hour number 2, what does Taylor Swift and sports have in common? Has nothing to do with it or Travis Kelce. It's much bigger. We'll tell you that. Plus, we'll go to Vegas and catch up with handicapper Scott Spritzer, I should say, to talk about the latest on NBA and NHL playoffs. Roc and Manuch, we're out here, right Toyota.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Growth is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
iHeart's Classic Rock Radio counts down the top 500 rock songs of all time, commercial-free Memorial Day weekend. The best rock, 500 to 1. Open the free iHeart app, search Classic Rock, and start listening. Free never sounded so good.
Mom, I got the job in Manhattan. Do you have a warm enough winter coat? What about your car?
I'm selling it with Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer.
How?
I enter my license plate number, miles, condition, upload photos, and boom, an official cash offer from a local dealership.
A cash offer instantly? Oh, did you call Aunt Stella? She's right there in Massachusetts.
Mom, I literally just got the job.
Not everything is as simple as selling your car with Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Price it, fix it, trade it, sell it, KBB.com it.
Is getting gas at Chevron burning a hole in your wallet? Get the Drop app. With Drop, you can earn free gift cards just by filling up your tank. Download Drop now. Use code DROP77 to instantly receive $5 in points.
Do summer projects your way with Memorial Day savings from the Home Depot. With free delivery on over 2 million items, you can make the most of summer grilling and dig into gardening. Plus, get same-day delivery on thousands of products like power tools and storage to tackle any last-minute garage project. Summer your way with Memorial Day savings from the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select and stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Hoops, Miller and McDowell, broadcasting from the Raffy Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Emmett Dax will host the Marlins for a weekend series beginning tonight. A Zach Gallen scheduled to start for the Snakes, who are fresh off a series win over their NL West rival Los Angeles Dodgers. The Cardinals have the holiday weekend off from their OTAs. They'll return to the field next Tuesday through Thursday. Meanwhile, the team's top draft pick, Marvin Harrison Jr., signed his fully guaranteed rookie contract yesterday. The Mercury took down the visiting Mystics last night. Diana Taurasi and Kalia Copper each scored 20 in the win. The Mercury hosts the Dallas Wings in search of their 4th straight win tomorrow night. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword HAPPY at foxsports910.com. That's HAPPY at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Friday, look for a nice warm day out there. Temperatures topping out close to 97. Mostly sunny skies out there. For tonight, we'll see clear skies, but we are going to start to see those winds pick up just a little bit with those overnight lows right around 70 degrees. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by MGM Rewards. Hey, pool season fanatics, your summer persona is calling. It's time for sun-soaked party scenes at MGM Grand, new luxury cabanas at Bellagio, and sandy beach living at Mandalay Beach. Show off your poolside only with MGM Rewards. Visit MGMRewards.com for details.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Sports 910.
All right. Right now we should be playing Taylor Swift, but for the sake of the show, and it's not our demographic, we're not going to play Taylor Swift. For all you dads that love no.
You don't have to convince me to play Taylor Swift, Rock. Come on now.
Come on, dude. Are you a Swiftie, Richie?
Oh, yeah.
Of course he is. It's so funny. Richie's like the biggest NASCAR guy I know, and he likes Taylor Swift.
It's oxymoron.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, oxymoron.
What happened to you? I mean, did you come out the other end? I mean, what's
She's
the
the biggest music star in the world. I'm in the majority in this case.
I'm not going to argue that.
What's her latest hit? Something Fire or whatever. I like a lot of her too.
She gets dumped every week or every month, so she writes a story on it or does these storytelling songs.
Isn't
right?
that interesting? A lot of her songs.
All of them are, I
breakups.
believe. Everybody I talk to says, "Oh yeah, the more she dates, the more she breaks up, the more money she makes." Let's just be honest.
She's a billionaire.
The Travis Kelce thing's gonna. I'll give it another 6 months.
Oh really?
Come on.
I think
that's how that works.
I think they're gonna tie that knot, Rock. I think this is it.
Then it'll make for even a better soundtrack when it's all over.
NFL, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. Are you kidding me? The new billionaires?
Well, Richie was probably one of them, but the millions of Taylor Swift fans that spent hours fighting the so-called Great War on Ticketmaster, trying to secure seats to the big tour that she put together. Well, the public outcry against Ticketmaster has swelled, and the Justice Department and 30 state attorney generals have launched a legal attack against Ticketmaster and their parent company, which is Live Nation, claiming that they are monopolizing the live entertainment industry. Now, this also plays into sports because the lawsuit now primarily it's focused on the live music aspect, but sports is a big part of Ticketmaster. We all know that. Roughly 60-70% of the ticket volume on Ticketmaster is for sports, and 70% NBA, NHL arenas. So it is a big part of this. So what's going to happen here, and if it all comes out, is the government is trying to break up Ticketmaster because they've created this monopoly, which is their Live Nation. And I'm anxious to see once this hits. So I'm sure Swiftie fans, she's going to come up with a song that's going to talk about this, right? I mean, right, Richie? She'll have a song about this Live Nation and Ticketmaster. She has to, right? This is what she does. And people,
I mean, she's made so much money because of them. I don't think that's ever going to be the case.
No, you don't think?
Well, I mean, they promote her. They do her tickets. I mean, Live Nation is.
You know how much money she makes, or the Ticketmaster makes off Taylor Swift? They get that service charge fee. They get that convenience fee. They get everything. They mark up the
fee
tickets.
You to death. I mean,
it's I'm ecstatic to see what happens here with this Live Nation deal with Ticketmaster.
Well, how many more? Okay, they break up this antitrust violation. They say, okay, they're forcing them to break up. How many other Live Nation, or I should say, Ticketmasters will come down the pike?
There's Vivid. There's StubHub. I mean, TikTok.
Sure, that's right.
There's tons of them
StubHub,
out
I forgot
there.
about that.
I mean, there's so many of them. Ticketmaster just happens to be the biggest.
Okay, so their attorneys for, I think, Live Nation, who said there's nothing to see here, are going to argue, hey, look, we have the right to go ahead and promote our people. It's about what they said about the artist as far as ticket pricing, supply and demand. So it's a lot of that, but it's major. It was the gaffe that they had when her tickets went on sale.
Yeah, it just blew up the system.
It blew up the system.
But it led to all this outcry, and then this because seems like Ticketmaster has gobbled up every single arena, and there's part of me that says, hey, good for Ticketmaster. Sure. They have an incredible platform, but I have tickets that I'm trying to sell for that I bought on Vivid Seats for a concert, Old Dominion in San Diego next month, and I can't go now, right? So I'm trying to sell them on that platform,
right?
And I am going through every single person in that company to be able to sell them because they have some stupid system that they can't just email them to me, the tickets. They will come to me the day before the concert, all right? And then at that point, once I get them, then I can put them out to sell.
Oh, man, it's almost too late by that
Instead
time.
of the tickets have already been printed,
Mm-hmm.
or, well, in this case, everything's electronic.
Digital.
But the fact that I have to wait till the concert's, let's say, the 13th of June, and I have to wait till the 12th to actually get them to then try to sell them, by that point, it's too late. You can't, because then I have to figure out once they're sold, then I have to try to sell them.
Wow.
Whereas other platforms like right now, like StubHub, I've sold so many tickets on StubHub, and Ticketmaster's even better than that. But there are some ticket platforms that are just not up there.
I thought the same thing when this came down yesterday by the DOJ that they were doing this. I'm like, well, you're penalizing a company for being a damn good company, for getting out in front of things,
exactly,
and pushing everything out there. But I mean, if they're blocking other companies on purpose, they're gonna have to prove that in a court of law. That's why Live Nation came back to us and said, there's nothing to see. We can't comment, but we will prove why we are not a monopoly. We will prove why there's no antitrust violations.
So so they own 80% of the market for tickets in the United States right now.
80%.
Close, 70 to 80, it says.
Pretty damn good.
So why is that a problem then?
Well, I just think that
StubHub needs to step up. Vivid needs to step up.
Well, I think with the only thing I can think of, Rock, the only thing I can think of is that since you have the monopoly, you can charge whatever you want. There's no checks and balances. And that's what the DOJ wants to say. Okay, who's the checks and balances to make sure they don't gouge or
True,
this, that,
because what they're doing, especially for Swift concerts, is they are inflating those concert ticket prices. Some say it's hurting the artists, which for Swift it's not.
No.
But for some of these other artists, they make it too difficult. For a $100 ticket ends up being $175.
And what Live Nation said to that point, they said, look, it's determined what the artist demands, the supply and demand, what people will pay. And the thing is, they're getting it. The amount of money that they're getting. Now, it might be ridiculous to us. Some of these seats are like $3,000 or $4,000, and people are getting shut out. Well, okay, then get online quicker. Pay. Here's what the cost is. So does the DOJ get involved when the Super Bowl tickets go to $10,000, $12,000? Since is there a monopoly on that situation? So I know sometimes you compare apples to oranges, but I'm just saying what they're saying is, here's the business side of this. This is going to be a great case to see how this thing plays out, unless there's a settlement that happens prior to.
But what would the settlement be?
I don't know.
I mean, who do they settling with?
Maybe
because the biggest problem here is the fans and the concert or the artists are upset because of what they are saying, the illegal inflation of these ticket prices. Inflating these tickets.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's illegal,
well,
but is it? I mean, here's the thing: if you don't want to pay the fees, then you don't buy the ticket.
Well, that's part of their argument too. Is like, this is the price. This is where we set it at. This is what we deal with. They also said they talked to the artists or the bands in reference to all this. She did the right thing when this thing broke. All hell broke loose. I think she helped cover, or she went ahead and made it right for a lot of the concert goers. So I think that those are some of the things that you take a look at. Hell, she could even do a concert like Madonna did in Brazil. She did a free concert with, I think, like 1 million people showed up, and she just, out of the goodness of her heart, did like a 3-hour concert, and just said no tickets, no nothing. Now, I don't know if that was in her way of saying, I don't need Live Nation, I don't need Ticketmaster, we're going to do it for free. And maybe there's some free concerts in there.
Educate me on this, Manuch. If Toyota, where we are today, all of a sudden is getting 80% of the car sales,
right?
Somebody going to bitch and say that Toyota is doing something wrong because they're getting 80% of the business?
No, hell no. That means you're doing a hell of a job, and you're out hustling your competition.
You got a good product.
I just, when this hit last night, I went, how? I mean, why? I mean, you're going to break them up? Now, what are you going to do? Break up
If
Live
anything,
Nation?
this is going to help the small ticket agencies. If
Well,
this blows up, there are smaller ticket agencies that don't charge as much, but there are so many ticket agencies.
I would like to know if they break them up like any other kind of breakups. I remember when Ma Bell and all that happened years ago, and they broke up the phone industry. How do you going to monitor it and help with competition? Put it out there, so there'll be some kind of reporting sscenario for them to do. I don't know. I hear some of this and go, why, you're going to penalize somebody for having a good business, doing a hell of a job?
I wish we could bring on some type of attorney that can kind of break down these antitrust violations that are related to this, because it is a great story to find out what's going to happen here, because it affects all of us that go to sporting events. Yeah. Because it's Ticketmaster. If you want to go to a Diamondback game, it's Ticketmaster. And if something happens with Ticketmaster, how will that affect their relationships with all the teams that they
know?
work with?
And I've never,
because these little guys will start coming in and say, we can offer you the same product, but
2
for
minutes.
this, and we can make you this.
Sure. Well, when we go to concerts, we look at, okay, here's the pricing. All right, what can we afford? We can afford 55 rows back. The first three rows, we can't afford that. So that's the price. That's the market for those tickets. We just figure, okay, can we pay this, and this, or that? And we just kind of accept it the way it is. I never thought of anything beyond that. I mean, when Lori got the Janet Jackson tickets coming up here in midsummer, okay, for this price here, for that price there. All right, this is what we can afford. This is what we'll spend. Rock, I've never thought twice about whether it's a sporting event or it's a concert. That's just what they want. Now, if they break them up, will the pricing stop, or are they just going to give more outlets the opportunity to sell those tickets? And then how do you determine who gets how many tickets here on the secondary market? Or does that venue, let's say this will be a Footprint for Janet Jackson, do they have to go to Live Nation one concert? Do they go to Jim Bob Morris, our fine sponsor, El Bandito Yankee Tequila? If he's done that, I mean, do they have to divvy it out now, or do they switch concerts and pass that around? Where Live Nation go, well, wait, don't we have the exclusivity on that? Well, if it finds them that they are creating a monopoly, it won't. It'll get passed around.
Yeah, I think we would all love to buy tickets and the price is the price.
Yeah, exactly.
If the tickets are $180 when you're surfing, you're shopping, it's $180 at when you check out. Not after you read the terms and you look at the breakout, and it's just $10 here, $5 here. A $100 ticket goes to about $150.
Well, they also talked about the fees were
tax. I'm okay with tax.
Oh, sure.
Okay, tax I get.
1 minute.
It's that service charge.
But they talked about the
delivery charge.
Yes. They talk about the exorbitant fees, or how they classify unfair fees that are built into pump the price up because they'll go, okay, the ticket's $200 a piece, but how we're going to get that is this fee, this, and this. That was also part of the contention with this antitrust violation.
Hey, if you are looking to watch the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, great places, the Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona, the CAZ Sports Bar. They have 3 live betting windows, 6 self-service betting kiosks, plus 8 screens that display all the betting odds. Check it out yourself. Open daily from 8 to 11. Tomorrow, 11 to 1. Take the Points, presented by Casino Arizona, will be going on right after Backspin the Golf Show. So check that out tomorrow right here on Fox Sports 910. Coming up, so what will a Memorial Day cookout cost you this weekend? And we'll this is great. And Richie, I'm just warning you during the break, I need you to find the Roc and Manuch disclaimer to play because we're going to need it because we have the Wheel of Fortune answer of the year candidate. So it happened last night. You may have seen it online. If you haven't, we're going to play it, but it's going to mean that we're going to have to play the disclaimer because I haven't got it cleared by the suits because here it is. It's a Friday on a long weekend. They're all gone. There's nobody at iHeart right now. Everybody's gone. All right. So they're all gone. So I have to play the disclaimer. So that'll come up next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Invest in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Van's Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in-store or online. Van's Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
You ever have a case of the Mondays? You won't if you tune in to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success. And
Yep, I found it. It's the one I found has the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Is that it?
USPS Ground
Perfect.
Advantage.
Got it.
Simple, affordable, reliable.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate. Because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
You're live.
Shoot. Taylor's with this. Richie, you're gonna take a Taylor Swift song over Who Made Who from the soundtrack, Stephen King's movie Maximum Overdrive. 38 years ago. I graduated high school in 1986.
Been that long?
Yeah, I graduated high school.
Wow. AC/DC. Come on, man.
AC/DC
Those
or
guys-
Taylor Swift.
And they can still rock, too. You see what those guys get after.
I would love to go. I think I saw a show at America West Arena many, many years ago, and I remember to this day it's still the loudest show I've ever been to.
Really?
By far. Hey, on this day, that was 38 years ago that this song came out. The soundtrack for Maximum Overdrive, the movie, came out at the same time. And on this day, because going into Memorial Day, some great movies came out. 39 years ago, a year before this, a View to Kill, James Bond movie. 35 years ago, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Thelma and Louise, 33 years ago. Braveheart opened in theaters in 1995. And then Mission Impossible 2, 24 years ago.
Great movies, man. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Also on this day, 89 years ago, 1935, Manuch was just a sophomore in high school. Jimmy B, excuse me.
Jimmy B.
The first night game of Major League Baseball took place, and it was in Cincinnati, and the Reds beat the Phillies 2-1. And Jimmy probably called that game. And if he was here, he would tell us the story.
He would.
Or I'd be curious about it.
About how the lights went up, the lights turned on.
Yeah. So there you have it on this day. All right. So from time to time, we get some sound that's borderline, okay, that you can play on the air. And it's been cleared through a service that we use, but not cleared through the suits because they're not there. Of course, it's a Memorial Day weekend, and you know what that means. People are out early, especially salespeople.
If they came in at all.
No, they came in. They came in early, and they said, "Yeah, I got an appointment at noon. Yeah, I'm going to meet a client for lunch.
Sure.
And it's way out in the West Valley, so with traffic,
Yeah.
by the time I come back, it's 4:30.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go, and by then they're already up to 17, and they're in Flag or Buns Park. So
when I get home, I'll make my calls from there. I'll make calls from the house.
So I'm going to play the disclaimer here in a second, but this has to do with a classic answer that happened I believe it was last night, in Wheel of Fortune. And I know our demographic, many of you, Manuch, you're one of them, watches Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy. That is a routine.
Love
every
it.
night. Yep, it's
Love
a
it.
routine for you, right?
Yeah.
My grandparents are with you.
Sure.
If they were still alive, they'd be wearing Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. I don't know which one's first, but I think which one's first?
I think it's the Jeopardy goes
Jeopardy
first,
for them,
yeah.
Wheel of Fortune. So we'll play a disclaimer, and then before we play the disclaimer, Richie, I want to make one more comment, then we'll play it.
The views and opinions expressed by various hosts, guests, or callers with Roc and Manuch are not to be considered endorsed or reflect the opinions of the owners of Fox Sports 910, iHeartRadio, or anyone that's even associated with this radio station in any way possible. Roc and Manuch broadcasts are presented and made public as entertainment, in the hope that they'll be entertaining to the audience. Listeners are urged to use their own judgment to draw their own conclusion. Ownership of this radio station does not confirm nor deny the validity or accuracy of the information aired on Roc and Manuch. All information, products, and services are provided solely for entertainment and enjoyment. Finally, we encourage the importance of keeping an open mind and not construing the stories, facts, or services as factual. In other words, Roc and Manuch wants you to relax and enjoy the ride.
All right, so if you didn't catch the classic answer that got a long laugh from the audience in last night's Wheel of Fortune. Now, it was a toss-up puzzle with what looked like most of the words in the blank was exposed. And listen as the only male contestant tries to solve it.
Tavares, right in the butt? No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
There you have it.
Oh, man.
What?
What did he just say?
So there you have it. Suits, I hope you're enjoying your weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, your Memorial Day cookout might cost a little bit more than it did last year. Consumer Affairs looked at how much 7 basic barbecue staples cost now compared to last year. Now it's a 10% jump, but most of it because hamburger meat prices are up. So they compared data from over 150,000 stores across the country and looked at what you need for a basic cookout with burgers and dogs. So here are the 7 items.
Okay.
8 burgers, 8 buns, 8 all-beef hot dogs, 8 hot dog buns, 32-ounce bottle of ketchup, 20-ounce bottle of mustard, 26-ounce bottle of relish. I don't know why you need the relish. So when you average that, how much do you think it is per person?
And there's no tomatoes or lettuce to put on the burger.
Nope, just those 7.
Okay,
It's these 7 items.
Man.
There's an average cost, so I'm looking at what is the average cost that an American will spend this year.
I'm gonna say I want to say $75 after it's all
for one burger.
No. I mean, you're
this is average per person.
Oh, average per person. Okay, I'm gonna say after it's all said and done, $20.
Okay,
$20.
Jax, you want to play?
Yeah, I'll say 18.
All right, Richie.
I think y'all are pretty close. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna say 11.
Last year was $27.39. This year it's $30.18.
$3 increase.
It's cheaper just to go to a bar and just I mean, I know Mickey D's and you go through a drive-through now for you get a number 1. That's $10.95 or $11.95.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we did the we got the bag of burgers, frozen burgers, obviously the cheese, the buns. We'll get that on Sunday. We debate whether we do the hamburgers or we do the brats. Or hot dogs type of thing. So we love the brats, but the burgers, the cheeseburgers, always a great go-to. But you got to have the Ore-Ida fries with them, right? You got the Ore-Ida fries. Well, I just like the fries with them, fries and burgers.
You have fries during a barbecue?
Oh yeah, we'll make fries with.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you? So you turn an oven on?
Yeah, put them in the oven and fry them in the oven.
Defeats the whole purpose of having a barbecue.
No, you got your.
Let me ask you. Let me tell you something, Nooch. I'm sorry. I got to put this out there.
Fries, burgers.
I have to put this out there because you obviously have no clue when it comes to barbecue.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, because the last time I had a barbecue and I invited you in July, you brought a box of wine.
Yeah.
So now you're telling me you have a barbecue and you actually turn your oven on to make French fries.
Well, we put them in there, spread them out, and it goes with the burgers, the dogs, the brats. Absolutely,
the crinkle cut fries.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Oh
no,
yeah,
I'm not arguing that part. I love French fries. I'm just saying for a barbecue, you typically do everything outside on the barbecue, and then you bring chips. You bring chips.
It's a lot easier too if you got a lot of people over.
Yeah,
to cook French fries, to go turn that hot oven on in the summer to just make, because there's nothing else you're making in it.
Yeah, now I might do corn on the cob on the grill once in a while.
Exactly,
we'll do that, or asparagus on the grill.
Well, why would you do everything else with the exception of French fries?
Because it's easier to do the fries.
No, it's easier to buy a bag of Ruffles.
Well, you buy the bag and you put them on your cooking pan, put them in there for 15-20 minutes, salt them, turn them over for another 5 minutes.
I'm not asking you how to make French fries in an oven.
Yeah.
My point is barbecue. You just don't get it. You bring who cooks French fries in a barbecue?
Man. Oh, I know a lot of people.
Or brings a bottle. Who brings a box of wine?
And that box of wine was gone by the end of your
we
bag.
threw it away.
No, you didn't.
Nobody drank that.
So either you grill the corn on the cob or you boil the corn on the cob. Oh yeah, we got to go.
I'm not questioning all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you boil a little. You get them going before you put them on there.
Sure, yeah.
But French fries?
Oh yeah.
I can't tell you any. I mean, I'm an East Coast guy. I can't remember any barbecue that I've been to that they served French fries.
Oh, I've been to a lot of
because typically a lot of barbecues you're going somewhere. It's a cookout, and you don't cook. I mean, unless you got an outside fryer.
Well, I mean, we basically at our house we'd have fries, but if we're going somewhere, we bring a bag of chips with all the other stuff, whatever like that.
Exactly.
But if we're at home,
salad you could add on there.
Absolutely.
Potato salad, I like that.
Yes, but not French fries.
I think if it's
Am
French
I
fries,
am I wetting the ears on this? Because I have never.
You've never
been to a barbecue? No.
At your house? You never have?
Maybe but I'm going to a barbecue.
Well, if it's
just me and my girlfriend, yes, I'll make the French fries, but I don't even do it then.
If
it's more work. Plus it's hot. I don't want to have the oven on in my house.
That's where we on Memorial Day we'll stay home. We'll whip that. Now, if we were to go somewhere, I bring the burgers or the beer or the wine and a big old bag of chips. Yeah, it'd be tough to. But I know a lot of people have had fries at their barbecue. I know what barbecue. It's Barbie's fries, burgers, dogs, brats.
Whole question, Jax. Seriously, I got to get this fixed by. We got an hour and a half. I want to find out.
How many
people have French fries at their barbecue?
The dog days of summer.
It is.
Sports Talk Radio. I love it. I love it.
But it's realistic because I don't think many people do. I bet it's 70, 80% no, we don't have French fries.
I've had
there are
fries.
some people like you that maybe, all right, or maybe they have a fryer outside. That'd be
That
cool.
happens too.
I'm not saying I don't. I would much rather have crinkle fries or tater tots over chips any day of the week. But it's just that's so much more work than a barbecue.
So what's the official wording on the tweet? I don't want to get it wrong. Last time we had a poll question, I worded it wrong apparently to one side. I want to make sure I'm flat even down the middle.
Do you make French fries at your Memorial Day barbecue?
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Simple, stupid.
And then we'll see what's going on in the summer, and we'll do the same question in July.
And that might be the anomaly.
8 coming up next. Can the Timberwolves bounce back and deliver a victory in a must-win situation, or the Mavs, or will the Mavs take a commanding 2-0 lead against Dallas? We will talk about that. Plus the Celtics at Panthers and the Panthers,
hockey.
Rangers, Oilers, Stars. Handicapper Scott Sprites are next.
Trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Cardinals taking the holiday weekend off from their OTAs. They'll return to the field next Tuesday and work through Thursday. Meanwhile, the team's top pick, Marvin Harrison Jr., signed that fully guaranteed rookie contract yesterday. The Diamondbacks host the Marlins to open the weekend series tonight. Zach Gallen scheduled to start for the Snakes, who are fresh off a series win over their NL West rival Dodgers. And the Mercury took down the visiting Washington Mystics last night. Diana Taurasi and Kalia Copper each scored 20 points. Tomorrow night, the Mercury hosts Dallas in search of their 4th straight win. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910. Available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
If you haven't tried G2G protein bars, today is the day. Find them in your local Costco's refrigerated section or online at g2gbar.com. Incredible taste and packed with protein. They are perfect for your on-the-go lifestyle. Check them out today.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Mom, I got the job in Manhattan. Do you have a warm enough winter coat? What about your car? I'm selling it with Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. How? I enter my license plate number, miles, condition, upload photos, and boom, an official cash offer from a local dealership.
A cash offer instantly. Oh, did you call Aunt Stella? She's right there in Massachusetts.
Mom, I literally just got the job.
Not everything is as simple as selling your car with Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Price it, fix it, trade it, sell it, KBB.com it.
A small commitment, at least one day a week, helps reduce ground-level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Ride public transportation. Carpool. Commit to one day and help keep ozone away.
He's ready.
Maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. Bundle and save at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Time to break down this weekend's biggest games with one of the nation's premier handicappers. From DocSports.com and seen every week on ESPN's Sunday Countdown, he's Scott Spreitzer. And he's here to help make sure your picks pay out with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
All right, degenerates, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do Mavs at T-Wolves, Celtics at Pacers, Panthers, Rangers, and Oilers at the Dallas Stars. So Scott Spreitzer joins us, DocSports.com. You can follow him on Twitter, X at Scott Wins, and he joins us now. How's your week going, Scott? What's going on?
Can't complain, guys. Can't complain. It's Friday, and we got a lot of stuff going on this weekend.
Always.
Obviously, you just named a few of the games.
Hey, years past, we were talking a little bit earlier about Indy 500 in that it seems like the buzz is not there like it used to be. Here we are, the 108th running, and NBC's been carrying it, and it could end this year. How much do you think the attention has changed not being on ABC? You think that had anything to do with it?
It seems to have changed. I mean, I always thought, like Formula One, and in this case, IndyCar racing had a better product than NASCAR in one particular area that would help it grow or at least stay the same in interest. And that is the fact that the racers aren't 4.5 hours. A race. But it's lost. It has. I mean, you could kind of, coincide that with ABC losing the product and all that the interest has dropped way off. And with betting becoming, basically almost nationwide now, 35, 36 states involved in betting. One of the problems that I had when I used to handicap the Indy 500 and the Indy Racing League, those cars, man, they look each other wrong and they fall apart. And that's just, an inherent problem with that kind of racing, to where if you have NASCAR, as you hear about Robbins Racing, you can have guys clanking off of each other and it's part of the race and you still got your bet going for you. So it's a tough call, man. I think NASCAR could take a lesson and reduce their sport by an hour and a half, maybe 100 miles a race, and it get more interest. And I think as far as Indy Racing, there's just not much they can do to regenerate the interest.
So in Indy 500, some stories regarding some scandals going on, cheating scandals. Team Penske, they swept the top 3 qualifying slots, and that's just the second team to do that since I think 1998. I mean, it's crazy. That doesn't happen very often. Does that make handicappers kind of sit back a little bit when there's some ties to a possible cheating scandal?
It does with me. I mean, I stopped betting the IRL probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And this would be a red flag for me. I don't think, there's no proof that there's any cheating, and people like to always come up with those while the refs are in on it. Or, that kind of, which is ridiculous. And I mean, Manuch, from having played a little bit of the NFL, that stuff gets blown out of proportion by a long shot. So I guess for the newer bettors, it would be hard to grow the betting interest because people automatically think that there's something shady going on. For me, it was as simple as that. It was just, you got a guy out there and he barely gets touched and he's wiping out, his car's falling apart.
Yeah.
Your bet's done. So, I would say for the younger generation that's betting sports, they're more into that. Oh, this is fixed. That's fixed. This is fixed. I've been doing this I'm 57. I've been doing this since I was 22. I have yet to find, outside of what's his face in the NBA, the official, where there's been any proven actions by a league, not just a player that's taken a bet here or there, but a league to fix a race. And I always tell somebody, if you know something's fixed, let me know. I would really love to know.
Jump on it.
Nobody can ever prove it.
Yeah, that's Donahue you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to give him any free.
I know. And Manuch gives it to him every week here. So he always talks, we had him on our show like 10 times or whatever.
Very suspect with some of the lack of calls going on.
Good old Philly guy. Yeah. All right, let's get to the games, Scott. Mavs, Timberwolves, game 2 tonight, 5:30 local time here, 8:30 on TNT. I think a lot of people were on Minnesota early last week or the other day, and then, of course, we know the outcome of that one. How do you see this one all kind of unfolding?
Yeah, we're looking at. We've seen as low as 5 and as high as 6.5. The T-Wolves, most of the lines right now have them at 6. I actually played Dallas the other night, and thought it was a good spot for them. They had extra rest, of course, for injuries to heal up a little bit, especially like Luka Doncic, and a lot of people were referring to the regular season matchups between these two teams, and I was like, that's not the case now because there are some differences on these teams that we saw back then. And there was one play that I held off from making. I'm kicking myself right now. You could get plus 500 Dallas to win game 1 combined with Minnesota to win the series. And I let it slip by. I didn't bet. I'm kind of kicking myself now, but happy with the Mavericks winning game 1. So as far as tonight's concerned, I'm going the other way. I like Minnesota. I laid it early 5. It's up to as high as 6. But listen, I look at what Anthony Edwards did in that first game. He looked deer in the headlights. Kyrie Irving had that extra motivation after the young man spoke up a little bit and took it to him. But I tell you what, when you look at Cat, he's going to get more involved on the offensive end. Anthony Edwards, I believe, will look for a shot more than looking to dish to other people and getting them involved. And that's what he does throughout the course of the season. And then, you know what? Home favorites of more than 3 and less than 10, 27-9 against the spread in the second game of a playoff series. And these top 3 seeded home teams, you go back about 20 years, how about 40-14-1 against the number following a game 1 loss by 3 or more points? So the trends aren't a reason to play a team, but it sure is nice icing on the cake. I just think the offensive changes that'll be made that are almost common sense by Minnesota is going to do Dallas in this particular game.
Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com, and at Scott Wins on Twitter. All right, the Celtics at the Pacers. Looks like the last time it looked minus 7.5, over under 223.5. How much, if any, will that change whether Halliburton goes or not? They got the hamstring issue. He's questionable as of right now. Seems like it's pretty much stayed steadfast at that number.
Yeah, I tell you what, the totals dropped down to 222 now because of the potential injury to Halliburton or the potential missed game here. I'm 1-1 in this series. I played Boston opening game, and then last night I played the over, and it was nice to get 236 points on the board. And here's the deal. If Halliburton plays, the Pacers have 1 gear. It's fast. I guess that's 3 gears if you want to play that game. But the Celtics don't shy away from a quicker pace either. The problem I have with Boston is the coaching and the scheme. I mean, does Mazzulla know that you don't have to do high ball screens the entire basketball game? I mean, it just drives me nuts. I really believe if Brad Stevens was coaching this team, they sweep the Eastern Conference and they win probably in 5 or 6 games the NBA title. But the way Mazzulla's coaching, I don't know, man. It's maybe just a lack of experience at this point that cost his team. They fire up threes. If they make them, they win. If they don't, they don't. But for me to jump in right now and say I think we should all jump in on one of these 2 teams or the total, it's a little bit premature because of that Halliburton injury news. If he's not able to go, it's obviously a different series. And then in game 4, let's say he is able to go. If Porzingis comes back, Boston doesn't lose another game in this series as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, Scott, because last 3 quarters without Halliburton, they score 101 points, that being Boston. 68 quarters 2 and 3. They closed out 101 points in 3 quarters. A lot of that without Halliburton, obviously. But, man, you talk about, blowing the doors off of the Pacers.
Yeah, that's why you got to kind of wait on this one. And it might be a point where I even pass the game tomorrow. If they don't have the information out early enough, then I would end up passing. I just don't want to take the chance of losing my money or anybody else's, not knowing if one of the top players in this series is going to play or not. But again, if Porzingis comes back in game 4, I'm telling you right now, and they might not bring him back. I mean, if they go up 3-0, they might say, well, let's give him a little bit more rest. But if it's 2-1 going into game 4 and they decide to bring him back, I don't think Indiana wins another game in the series at that point.
Scott Spreitzer, Scott Wins on Twitter. He joins us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. All right, Rangers-Panthers game 2 tonight. Puck drops at 5 o'clock local. Of course, the Panthers got game 1, 3-0 at Madison Square Garden. How do you see this one?
Yeah, here's the problem with me with the Rangers. I mean, and I was a Ranger fan. That was my team my whole life until the Golden Knights came about. But the bottom line is, from a betting perspective, I can't back them. Even though they might win tonight, I cannot back them because they keep getting outplayed. And we saw that against Carolina. They had a minus 67 shots on goal differential in the series against Carolina. Carolina was the better team. Carolina might have been the best team in hockey this year, but the Rangers were able to get the job done. So you go up against this Florida Panthers team that had the motivation after getting knocked out last year in the finals who are playing great hockey. They've got the better goaltender in Bobrovsky as long as he can be healthy. And in his last 15 starts against the Rangers, he's 11-3-1 and a save percentage of around .915. I just think that Florida takes it again tonight. But again, that zigzag theory in the NHL playoffs, it does make it tough to say, okay, I'm going with the Panthers, but I've yet to see the Rangers outplay an opponent, whether it be Carolina in that series or even game one in this series. I got to go with the Panthers tonight, guys.
All right, tomorrow night, Oilers at the Stars. Another double overtime here. Scott, which way are you leaning on this one?
Oh, man, you got to bring up some pain. I had the Stars last night. All those opportunities, 4-minute power play in the first overtime, couple of shots going off the post, and they lose 30 seconds into the second overtime. I think Dallas comes back and wins this. We've seen them lose a couple of times already at home in the postseason, including those first two games against Vegas. But I think they bounce back here. And Edmonton doesn't always play well on the defensive end of the ice, but they played well last night. Dallas, I think, is going to be too strong for them in Saturday's game, too.
Scott, have a great weekend. Good Memorial Day, and thank you as always.
Yeah, great. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks, man.
Scott's brighter as he joins us every Thursday, even in the off season. When I say off season, no football, but I appreciate Scott as he has been joining us for about 15 years now. And you can catch him on Twitter at Scott Wins or go to DocSports.com. You'll see he's about 60% across the board, and he bets everything: WNBA, baseball, of course, hockey and NBA, but a lot of even some of the XFL,
sure,
or whatever that's
UFL,
called. UFL,
South Korean baseball.
How is that still in business?
They still playing every week. I can say this: one of my guys, Bryce Perkins, signed with the Michigan Panthers about 3 weeks ago. He's been playing very well the last 2 weeks. Playing very well. He got picked up.
There's gonna be a lot of guys on these preseason rosters, huh?
And he and
this summer, in the
Ryan
NFL.
Lewerke played at Pinnacle. Bryce played at Chandler High School. Are on the same team, so they split the halves, and they're both playing pretty well. So they're winning.
Is it really just what's the word? Developmental? Is that what it is? Because if they're splitting half to half, they don't care about winning.
Well, here's the thing. Well, they want to make sure they win. Obviously, those guys.
Well, no, they don't.
Well,
why would they split it?
Well, they're trying to give them both exposure to the NFL, and they're both playing pretty well. But Bryce, the last 2 weeks, has really played very, very well, as is Brian Lewerke. So, a couple of Arizona kids in the USFL, or UFL.
Our Jimmy B Rewind's coming up here in a little bit. But next, it's Football 50 plus 2 Blue Bloods. A game in Vegas. Pretty cool stuff coming up. We'll tell you about that next. It's Roc and Manuch from Toyota, right? Toyota, that is.
Time to win some bonus bucks. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar bills yell. When you hear the keyword at the top of the hour, weekdays from 9 to 5, enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000, powered by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney. Interact, need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today, 977-1900.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
You ever have a case of the Mondays? You won't if you tune in to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, coupling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
In the fast lane of life, your fuel should keep up. Time to check out G2G protein bars, your ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether it's a workday, gym session, or navigating daily chaos, G2G has got you covered. Find them now at your local Costco in the refrigerated section, or explore all 8 fantastic flavors at G2GBar.com. Great tasting and packed with protein, so keep pace with life in the fast lane with G2G protein bars.
With Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot, you can give your lawn or garden beds a pop of color and protection. Right now, get a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10. Help your soil retain moisture longer with color that lasts up to 12 months. Shop Memorial Day savings for a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller,
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
but she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive
That's
Casualty
right.
Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
Let's get ready for football.
It's football at 50. The latest top football story trending this hour. Right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Quiet right now, but give it another month, and then we'll get some police blotter going, as these players are going to have a little bit of time before they have to hit camp. So
And trouble happens.
we'll have some trouble.
Yeah.
The Raiders are giving 3-time Pro Bowl defensive end Crosby $6 million. How do you add a year to his contract? How does that
Good
How
for
does that
him.
happen? Well, the Raiders are also moving $1.2 million from his 2026 salary into his 2025 season. Gotta love a guy out of the MAC, Eastern Michigan, having so much success. Has been the face of the franchise there with the Raiders. Had that 4-year extension, $95 million in new money. More than $53 million of that was guaranteed back 2 years ago. So since then, he has delivered 27 of his 52 career sacks, while twice finishing in the top 6 as the NFL Player of the Year voting. Been named the second team All-Pro this season. He's had 4.5 sacks. I mean, he has been racking up big numbers since he signed that deal March 11th, 2022.
You know, it's interesting as you watch. There's a team. Who's their quarterback? Who's their receiver? Who's their home run hitter? Well, Max Crosby is the guy you tune in and go, this guy's just nonstop. You know, he's got that. What do they say? The high motor. He's always going. He's very productive, and he's a menace. You got to
awesome.
Every time you line up, especially the passing game, double team him, chip him, go away from him on the run. But he's really
Was that
stepped up.
your roommate's pick back in 2022?
I think it was. Yeah, yes, it was. Mike Mayock. Yep.
When he was the general manager there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He said,
because when you find those MAC guys, and that's probably because Mayock would call some of those games more of he was calling games,
Yes,
MAC
he was.
conference games, and I bet he saw him.
Yep.
Because when you're getting a MAC guy getting drafted in the 4th round, he had some good insight on
he was
on
one
his
of the
ability.
One of the good picks that Mike had that came to fruition. And then another MAC guy I think of is Ben Roethlisberger.
Sure.
Going to be in the Hall of Fame. But there's some of those guys that have come out of the MAC that are just, you go, wow, that kid can play at any division, and he can play in the pros and how they transcend the pros. Crosby's just amazing.
I was going to say the cornerback the Cardinals signed, Sean Murphy Bunning, played at Central Michigan.
Yep,
Another
exactly.
MAC guy.
I mean, if you got talent, I don't care where you're at, they'll
Go
find you.
CMU.
Yep, so,
Sure, there's some Ohio U guys out there that are going to get drafted someday.
they're baseball.
They're usually punters,
broadcasters,
kickers,
baseball
a
guys.
lot of broadcasters.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
baseball
guys out of the Ohio U Sports Ad program. Hey, Duke and Kansas are going to square up in Las Vegas in November. The two blue blood programs I'll have the men's basketball face off in the way too early top 25 tournament, which ESPN is calling it. But I'm anxious to see this consensus top recruit in the country, Duke's Cooper Flagg, play against Kansas, who is right now ranked number 1 going in to the season. So these two programs have combined for 9 NCAA titles. And it's always good when you see the two blue bloods play. And that'll be November 26th in the Vegas Showdown.
You wonder how much money that young man's going to be came across there to.
See, that's the thing,
$2 million bucks to go to Duke. Yeah. Okay. You
play
know.
For 1 year and then transfer to get more money.
Yeah. You know what's
so
funny?
Wrong.
You know what's really sad is that we see these top recruits going here or there. Your first thought is, I don't know about you folks out there, I wonder how much money his NIL is, or what's his, or what's he making, or what do they have to do to keep so-and-so, or what's he going to need if he's making $2 million a year in order to stay at Duke and not go be a one and done. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad we think that way, because I think we're just getting to the point right before the NIL that a lot of the college basketball players were staying, and you knew who they were, you recognized them too, and they were taking them deep into the NCAA tournament, aside from Kentucky and the occasional Dukes. But it seemed like Coach K would entice these guys to stay at Duke and play it out. But now with the NIL money, I'm sure that he's going to be handsomely taken care of.
You know, if you're a booster, and you know, we've heard the rumblings and things that are going on at Arizona State. You know, new athletic director, and I think he's going to do a great job. I'm a big fan of his because he has a sales background. But when does it get to the point where here you are a booster, and you have an athletic department coming to you, knocking on your door, saying, "All right, Toyota, where we're at today. Hey, if you give us $100,000, you know, we can get this kid." They write the check. The kid comes, then he leaves after a year. They don't get their money back.
No, they don't.
And they're trying to support the program. They know that the program needs players like this. They understand this is the way of the world.
Sure.
Is, and when it comes to college athletics, and they get screwed because the kid, nothing can happen to the kid.
You just hope that you got your money's worth out of that kid staying just the 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, if you stayed 1 year and he took you to the NCAAs or a title or whatever, that's all you got to hope for. But something's got to be taken care of for this. You know, get your money and then transfer right away.
What are the biggest questions in the offseason for the Phoenix Suns? Catch up with Kevin Ray, the play-by-play voice. And we'll also get him to weigh in on the playoffs, who we like to see coming out of the East and West. And we'll have Jack's Rewind. That's all next as we continue from Wright Toyota, Roc and Manuch.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Mom, I got the job in Manhattan.
Do you have a warm enough winter coat? What about your car?
I'm selling it with Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. How? I enter my license plate number, miles, condition, upload photos, and boom, an official cash offer from a local dealership.
A cash offer instantly? Oh, did you call Aunt Stella? She's right there in Massachusetts.
Mom, I literally just got the job.
Not everything is as simple as selling your car with Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Price it, fix it, trade it, sell it, KBB.com it.
Look at your cup holder. It's empty, and you're feeling thirsty. Head to a nearby convenience store and fill it with a Pepsi Zero Sugar, Mountain Dew, or Starry. Grab a delicious, refreshing Pepsi for the road.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Duke's, because there's only one Duke's. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Raffy Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Top-seeded Arizona meeting Stanford tonight in the semis of the Pac-12 baseball tournament. The winner faces the winner of the Cal USC contest tomorrow night. Later today, the U of A softball team opens super regional play against Oklahoma State in the Stillwater Regional. The Diamondbacks 2 games below 500 and 4th in the NL West. 8 games behind the Dodgers open a series at home tonight against the Marlins. Zach Gallen gets the start. And the Mercury now winners of 3 in a row, their longest such streak since June of 2022. They're back on the court tomorrow night at home against the Dallas Wings. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword FUN at foxsports910.com. That's FUN at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, we'll look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the 70s, but some breezy conditions. Those breezy conditions going to last into your Saturday as well, with some cooler temperatures on tap. Most everybody in the low valley seeing temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch. Your life. Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Roc, Manuch, Jax, and Richie with you today at Wright Toyota. Hope you're having a good Friday afternoon. Maybe heading up the road, heading up north, getting out of the weather, which not going to be too bad. High 90s, maybe hit into the hundreds on Sunday, or Monday, but for the most part, hey, mid 90s. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend.
Tomorrow might spike, though. They're saying right around 104.
No.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Around 104.
When do you see that?
I saw on the weather last night because I always check the weather. And then tomorrow, it should be right around. I'll give you a little weather recap because I watched that stuff.
104.
Yeah, looking to be 95 today.
This guy's lying.
And then, they're going to cool down. So they must have changed.
How would it change in one day?
I don't know.
So you're obviously clueless what you're watching.
No,
come on.
I'm glad it's only going to be like 90ish tomorrow, but next week,
Come
it's
on,
climbing.
Manuch. You old guys are supposed to know the weather.
I'm starting to understand what you're saying because if Jimmy B said something like that, Manuch would go off.
He would pound him.
100%.
Well, I did say though. Yes, they said, but it'll be climbing into the mid 103s next week is for. But tomorrow about 90.
We don't care about next week. It's Memorial Day weekend.
I care about Memorial Day weekend.
My context of the Open was, hey, People are on the road. They want to get out of the heat, but even though the folks that aren't getting out of the, getting out of the valley, weather's not going to be bad at all.
By the way, if you're headed out to LA on the 10, it's backed up. A buddy of mine just texted me and said, yep, major backup if you're going out to LA in that area. So either you leave later tonight or just get ready to sit in traffic for a long time if you head over to the LA way.
Detour Dan.
Absolutely. Well, it's nice we can relay that information. If you're on the road or getting ready on the road, just be ready for backups. He's headed toward the LA, and he's a little bit of traffic.
One place that will be climate controlled, and that is Chase Field with the Diamondbacks. They are back home after taking care of folks. The Dodgers. They will battle the Miami Marlins. Zach Allen will get the ball for the Snakes. Currently, they're just under 500 at 24-26. And they will counter that being the Marlins with lefty Braxton Garrett making his third start on the season. He's got just over a 10 ERA as he is coming off shoulder surgery, or shoulder injury. So here he is going to go up against the Snakes. But Zach Allen got the ace going. So if you are looking for something to do last minute, what a great place to go to the ballpark for Memorial Day.
Yeah, take advantage of for them to win that series first time in 6 years versus the Dodgers. Take advantage of that with Zach Gallen pitching well, and if the young man is on the mound his third start, get on him early. And there's one thing we've noticed with this Diamondback team is getting on the Dodgers earlier. The games that they've won is getting on them early and closing that out. Nice to see is the power. Christian Walker with his power. Jock Peterson. Corbin Carroll had the triple with a couple RBIs the last game, and hopefully Corbin Carroll can get off the schneid. He's had a couple hits. He's at about $193 right now is what he's hitting. So an opportunity before they go on the road for 2 against the Rangers, and then head back to New York, take on the Mets. 6-game road trip to get back to at least hopefully get back to 500 above 500 and start making that climb.
Big story that continues to make waves today from yesterday's news is the Power 5 conference. The conferences and the NCAA announced that they have authorized a settlement in the House versus NCAA. Now, the agreement is not final, but it will mark the first time in NCAA history that schools would share revenue with players. So one step closer to agreeing to a concept that for many people that have been talking for over a century is allow schools to pay players. And they've been doing it for the last few years with NIL.
I think, Rocky, brought in the first hour salary cap, maybe incorporated with something like this.
I think you have to, or it's going to get crazy. I mean, when does it get to the point? So can Alabama pay? They obviously can pay more than Arizona State. How can you compete with that?
You can't. But with rules and regulations like the NFL has with their salary cap and some of the others.
So each school has, let's just say $2 million, which is probably going to be a lot more.
Sure.
So their whole athletic department says they have $20 million.
Oh, ouch.
A lot of these athletic programs, they can't raise that money with sports sponsorships and things like that. What Arizona State can bring in compared to Arizona may be similar, but what can NAU and GCU bring in to compete?
Well, and on top of that, Rock, talk about recruiting, that a lot of the players will go, well, those guys, I can make more money going to that school, let alone the NIL. We're talking about the profit sharing. I mean, talk about the free agency open market. So the rich will get richer, the poor will get poorer, and then on top of that, you bring this up periodically, cutting other sports out in order to meet that budget, in order to pay the basketball players, the football players. All the non-revs might be cut. So you might see wrestling go away. You might see, I don't know if you'd see track go away, but you might see some of the other non-revs go away. Gymnastics could go away. So in order to, here's the thing. If an athletic department goes, wow, we only got so much money and we got to recruit this kid and that kid, we're going to profit share getting that, our NIL money. So all of a sudden, the CPA or whoever the accountant is at that school, he's weighing it back and forth and going, we only got so much money this year. We can only bring in these recruits. We can only keep these guys, plus the profit sharing. We got to cut somewhere. So they got to cut the non-res, which is unfortunate. Unless you go get a private sponsor, like what Sunkiss did with the wrestling program at ASU. They kicked in, I don't know, $2-3 million to help that along and put it in a trust fund. So I think athletic departments got to reach out to go ahead and help fund their athletic department separately from the money that's coming in from the football and basketball. I mean, this thing is, you know what, it's a headache talking about it, but this is the reality that if you're a alumnus of whatever your school is, if you cut your check every year, just know that you better keep cutting if you want your team to be competitive and to wear that prideful shirt or prideful hat around during football season. Otherwise, just accept the fact you're going to be a mid-tier, bottom-tier program, and you just got to hope that you're going to go to a bowl game, a good bowl game, because you're not going to have a chance to win a championship or even the conference championship to that effect. And then try and get the NCAA or the conferences to take care of this. So I think eventually when these super conferences happen, which is going to happen, I think that they have their own administration, their own commissioner, and the NCAA at some point just goes away at some point in time.
So are you in favor of these athletes, these former athletes, and the folks that have been pushing for players to get paid? Do you believe that they should get paid? In other words,
the former athletes
10 years ago?
No, not at all. You had your scholarship. You had your.
But what is, let's just, Jax, you've been, just say hypothetically, because you're much younger, but you went to a bigger D1 school. You went to, say, Arizona State. Of course, you went to Montana, a very big school in that space. But do you feel that you should be compensated for you suiting up on Saturdays?
No, because that era was so long ago, and I just think with all the money and stuff going on right now, I don't think because then you go in the files of how much playing time or how much money does Zion Williamson get versus some of the guys on Duke, and I just think the whole process with different sports is going to take too long, and it's frustrating because you look at NIL. When NIL first happened, it was supposed to be so guys like me could go get brand deals with Right Toyota or go to Twin Peaks or CAZ. It wasn't supposed to be like negotiating players to go play for your team. Oh, give me $500K or I'm not going to Kansas State. You know what I mean? So it just kind of sucks that NIL is going in this path, but you can't change it.
I don't think the guys moving forward, it's just a way of life. But the guys 10 years past to this year, I'm like, what's the justification to pay those guys if they had their scholarships? Whether they had their degrees,
how is this any different? I wish I would have thought this out first before I opened my mouth. But how is this any different than former NFL players that are trying to get money because they got hurt back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s?
Well, I think what happened is because what that is all about is that they were wronged while playing, told to play if they were concussed, and now that they got issues or then their knees were still damaged and they were cleared to play. There's something behind all of that in order to move forward. Now,
there's no comparison.
There's no comparison because you're looking at, and even the guys that are wronged or were mistreated, they still don't get whatever, but there's something behind that, Rock, that they can prove that this, and this did not happen. It shouldn't have happened. So that person's due compensation for neglect. Okay, so that's how I look at that.
So how does the media, the sports administrators, the people that are in the sports industry get ahead of this so this doesn't happen in high school? Because I believe a year from now we are going to talk about this at the high school level because it's already happening when it comes to kids living in a different town that has an apartment, in that zip, so they can say they have residency in that, at Chaparral High School at 85260 when they, clearly went to elementary school and the first year maybe.
Well, let me add to that. And the apartment's paid for aside from their family.
Who's paying for it?
It's paying for.
Who's paying for the apartment?
Exactly. Well, if it's
I'm asking you.
Well, it's probably a booster.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, booster.
So you hear that?
Oh yeah, it happens. Oh
so
yeah.
So that's already they got their toes in the water. That it's already happened at the high school level. But how do we get ahead of it collectively as people that don't want to see high school sports going down the same road as college sports? Because it's going to happen.
I don't know how you can. I mean, it's just I don't know.
Because high school sports is so big, and look what's happened here in Arizona. And you're a big part of it, Manuch, the success of kids that are coming out of Arizona to compete at the next level, specifically quarterbacks. I mean, there are so many D1 quarterbacks that have come out of Arizona that are now playing at the next level.
Yeah.
When is it going to be like, you say if you've been training Brock Purdy, you're over there at Cactus Park on Sundays working him out. All of a sudden you have the head coach of, I don't know, Pinnacle comes over and says, hey, Manuch, how can we get Brock over? Let's have him leave wherever he went, Perry, and
Come
play
over
over there.
Pinnacle.
Here's what I want to do. I'm going to give you, here's $1,000 in your pocket, and then let's pay him.
Yeah, that
I mean,
could happen.
I bet it's already happened.
Well, I will say that there's already hints by coaches out there, and this is what happened. That's happened on social media a couple times. That, hey, look, if you're looking for a school, come see us, which you can't do. That just happened to the Carter brothers, who are the head coaches out there, Desert Edge, that he insinuated. I think it was Mark that insinuated, hey, look, very innocent response. Hey, we've got plenty of openings over here, which is very innocent. But then to that point, to when a player says, hey, I'm looking, blah, 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 and a coach reaches out via social media. Now, if he'd have done it and just said, hey, look, called him or something like that, I mean, it's fair game. But the key is that's got to be instigated by that player, that he's got to go to his administration. They did clear with his administration he's looking to move on, not knowing where, and that can happen, and then you get in trouble. So, yeah, I think there was an instance back in the Midwest where there was a top-notch kid coming out of 8th grade that actually did get paid at the high school level and is going to this one high school, and the only reason why they found out is that, they're kids. Your kid's going to be a freshman. Yeah, I'm going to get $50,000 for going to so-and-so. Parent heard this and said, wait a second, time out. You're part of our district. How can that happen? And I don't know where this thing stands now, but it happened about a year ago. So there are those. And on top of that, you could, to keep that kid or whatever, show up twice a week at my dealership. We'll pay you, come out, hang out, wear your leather jacket, and if you want to sign autographs. That can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if,
well, what about a parent that says, all right, I want to keep my kid back?
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but usually that's at the 8th grade level.
Okay,
they reclassify.
But they're looking ahead to where this kid's going to go for his freshman year.
Well, if a lot of people do reclassify kids, not because, I will say honestly, because the kid's size isn't right yet. They want him to wait. They just started him early and they realize, oh my gosh, my son's only 5'2". He's got to go play against these kids that are 5'10", 5'11". So they might reclassify him, or the grades aren't quite there. So they want to reclassify him and have him stay in 8th grade one more year. That's where you see that. But once they're in high school, at that point, they're not going to reclassify him. Say if he's a junior or he's a senior, he can't reclassify. Say, well, I want to stay one more year. AIA would not allow that to happen.
Hey, Jimmy B's Rewind is next. It's Roc and Manuch without Jimmy B, actually, on a Friday here.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
There is an accident Smith-Enke Road at Porter Road over in Maricopa. Also Honeycutt Avenue at John Wayne Parkway, a crash. McDowell west of Dysart, we have an accident. And a wreck McClintock south of Baseline.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Life's a sprint, and you need a quick pick-me-up. Meet G2G Protein Bars, the ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether you're hustling in the office, enjoying a day on the links, or conquering the daily grind, G2G is your perfect fuel. Score an 8-pack at your local Costco's refrigerated section, or explore amazing flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, and power-packed. G2G Protein Bars, setting the pace for your energetic lifestyle.
Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar on the southeast corner of Cave Creek and the 101. Happy hour 7 days a week, 4 to 7, with $5.50 house wines and well drinks, $4.75 drafts, plus tons of food specials. Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? With Document Solutions of the Valley, you can buy, lease, or rent models that work off of your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
With Wendy's new $3 English muffin deal, you can get your choice of a sausage or bacon, egg, and cheese English muffin with small seasoned potatoes.
And with all that for just $3, it really is a proper breakfast, wouldn't you say? Huh? With a light and fluffy toasted English muffin and crispy seasoned potatoes. Go on, Catherine, give it a go.
Okay. Jolly good morning.
Ah, close love. Grab a proper breakfast with Wendy's new $3 English muffin deal for a limited time.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Select a request English muffin deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders. Single item at regular price. Prices are higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
The Diamondbacks are home hosting the Marlins for a 3-game weekend series starting tonight. A Zach Gallen is scheduled to start for the Snakes. The Cardinals have the holiday weekend off from their OTAs. They'll return to the field next Tuesday through Thursday. And the NHL's Eastern Conference Finals continue tonight. The Rangers home for the Panthers for Game 2 of their series. Florida took the shutout win in Game 1. I'm Frank Garrity.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
In case you missed this week of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, our fine rookie Jackson Groff has you covered.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Jack puts it all together. The best, the worst, and in his mind, the funniest moments from this week's shows. This is Jackson's Rewind exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
All right, Jack, before we dive into this, how you feeling about it?
It's all right. I'd say we got 4 clips. These are more type of the best moments versus making fun of people. Jimmy B's in it once, twice.
Okay.
Not as much as normal, but all in all, I think it was a solid week of content, especially, the dog days of summer. But
yeah.
I think it's all right. I think you guys will like it, and I think you'll definitely spark up some debate that could lead to the next week's review.
Really?
Yeah. So without further ado.
So is that how it works now?
I think that's called a cliffhanger right there, Rock.
Yeah.
Cliffhangers in here now?
Well, this first clip, Rock is just jealous of I guess, the bromance that Manuch and one Frank Sanders have. And, he had a question of Frank Sanders about a specific topic. And here's what Frank Sanders had to say.
Frank, let me ask you something real quick. You on or an African American and black man on our show, he always has to throw out the brother card. Is that offensive to you when Manuch, who's a white guy, keeps calling you brother he's he's trying to fit in? What's the deal with that? I mean, come on, put him in his place.
Frank, tell him you're a brother of a mother like no other. Just tell him that.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's it right there.
We see, this is the difference, Rob. You've never been in a locker room.
Yeah, you got me
so
there.
this is the problem. Manuch has been in a locker room, so there's no creed or there's no racism in the locker room. We're all brothers and we bros. We band together. If you ever was in a locker room, you just one of the bros. That's it. You're just a brother.
So he's got brother envy, Frank. He's got brother envy right now.
When we play in Frank, when we play in a foursome, I can't call you brother. We're a team. We got a golf tournament.
Absolutely, bro. You call me, bro. We're bro, man. Let's have at it. We've known each other long enough to be brothers, man. Come on,
Okay.
Rock. You the only one want to act like you want to be an uncle.
So part of the team, you part of that golf to your brother, Rock.
It's just, Manuch, you change your tone.
My brother of another mother like no other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you interview a guest like that, and it's and I had to ask some people about it after the fact that heard the segment, and they unequivocally agreed with me.
Sure. I have no problem with that.
They're like, totally. They're like, yeah, he tries to sound like he's black and he's not black.
Well, I don't
when,
sound like
when you interview a black guy.
I might use their vernacular or
Well,
their tone or something like that.
There. Why you see right there?
What's up, bruh? You know, not
see,
but a thing.
that's- But when you're trying to make a case
But
that
see, I
because
can
you're
do
in the
that.
locker room,
I can
right?
do that with them. I have a relationship with them.
Whatever.
It's locker room banter back and forth.
But if another guy who is a white Caucasian is in that
why
locker
don't you
room,
say that to Rudy Carpenter?
you don't talk like Rudy that way.
Oh yeah.
You don't talk to anybody like you don't.
No, hey,
you
hey,
don't.
brother. I could say, brother Rudy. How
No.
we doing this afternoon? You know,
That's
that type of thing.
stupid.
It's endearing. It's just endearing conversation. So you would never have because you've never been in that locker room, right?
Yeah,
No.
I've been in that locker room probably more than you have, but as a press guy, not as a player.
This second clip here, speaking of bromance, another bromance, and these two love the call at 10:30, 10:45 before the show. They'll text on the weekends about games. It's a bromance between Jimmy B and Manuch. And Rock may be jealous of it. Who knows? But there's a lot that develops in this clip, so we're just going to let it play for you guys.
Just telling you right now, do not disrespect the Dallas Mavericks. I know what the T-Wolves did against the defending NBA champions. I watched the entire game. Did you really? I get it. Stayed up late? Come on. You can't right in my wheelhouse. No, what? You're gonna bust on. I go to bed around 8:30. What? No, dog. I'm between 11 and midnight. Dog. Are you in the locker room? I am now. But you're going to insult me. It's going to get real nasty in here. Get that dump button ready. So you stay up to 11? Manuch calls me all the time.
And he's usually out.
I mean, who answers the phone anyway?
Well, it's about no more than 10:30, Jimmy. I call you.
What do you guys actually have to talk about? We're talking about the game that we're watching.
Watching the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
Yo,
two
man,
little kids?
Yeah.
Why don't you text each other? Well, he's my bro.
Yeah. I'll call him. Yo, bro, are you watching the same thing I'm watching? Seriously.
I
Look
didn't know
at
you
this
guys
bad
were
boy.
friends outside the show.
Oh,
Manuch
yeah.
and I, 19 years, I've only had a beer with him twice.
Rock would never pick up the phone if I call him at 10 or 10:30 at night. He's probably sleeping on the couch. You just go, that's Manuch. I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't be that important.
Are you jealous of the little bromance they got? The little 10:30
We
call
connect,
they
man.
have?
Dude,
it's
I
fun.
am so opposite of being jealous of those two wasting time after 10 o'clock at night to talk about all the prep that I'm doing for the show the next morning anyway. No.
And we're talking about, God, we're talking about the game, whether it's football season or basketball season. But yeah, it's just kind of like, wow, how did that happen or whatever? But it's occasional. It happens once in a while.
So through all that, I had a suggestion on the show, and it immediately got turned down. But maybe it'll come to fruition that all three of them will hang out outside the show.
You guys all should hang out on a weekend.
No, that will not happen.
It'd be good content. It'd be good content for the Instagram.
No way. Like, first of all, the places I go don't have booster chairs for Jimmy. So there's nowhere you can sit. Okay, fair enough. And and Manuch, I don't know, man. The only good thing with Manuch is he can talk to everybody there. So people don't have to bother me. They can just talk to me.
That is so funny. When we've been out and about, Rock's like, man, Manuch, those two guys over there, I don't know who they are. Oh, that's so-and-so and so-and-so, and I'll go occupy
Go right up to him. And then introduce me to him. He's like, hey, Rock, come here. I want to introduce you to John and Fred. Why? I don't need
They are so excited to meet you, Rock. They are. Hey, is that Rock?
It's like I'm your son who needs a date. He's like introducing me to all these different people.
He doesn't realize he's more of a personality than he actually thinks.
No, I'm not. I don't want to be. No.
Hey,
no.
Manuch, can you introduce us to Rock? Yeah, hey, come on over.
Your laugh just kills me, Rock.
And it happened today. We're at Wright Toyota.
Yeah.
Two guys came up to our set to say hello to Manuch. I immediately put on my headset and put my head into my computer so I didn't have to say hi.
And I
Not
know
a people person.
And I introduced you
I am
to him.
not. I am really, but not to his friends. Because everybody knows Manuch, former quarterback, Mr. McClintock, Charger, and I just, I didn't go to high school here. It's like he went to high school. He knows everybody.
And our former athletic trainer, Warren Anderson with the Arizona Outlaws, was here buying a car here at Wright Toyota.
Great.
And his friend Scott, who was one of the GMs at
But I didn't even meet him.
Honda.
You could have just done your own thing. You didn't introduce him to Jax.
I did. I introduced him.
He did. I didn't want.
Exactly. Now you're learning.
Yeah.
Because then now it's like, because next time they'll come in here and they'll be, Rock, oh, you remember so and so. I'll be like, No, I don't
I don't
really.
think I'll ever
It is
see him again.
It is the cordial,
you will.
cordial gentlemanly thing to do. Just say, "This is Rock. This is
Yeah, but
Jack."
Recently my headset was on. I literally had my.
Well,
I'm like, I'm
you don't
working
think I
on the
noticed that?
computer, and I look at. I knew purpose. I was going to get up to go to the bathroom, so I didn't have to say hi.
I did that on purpose to say, "Rock, don't be disrespectful. Don't be rude.
It's not rude.
Introduce these guys.
It's not rude if you don't want to talk to somebody.
Warren
You want a break.
Anderson. He owns Reflex down there on 44th Thomas.
All right, we got to
Great
fit one
guy.
more in.
And then lastly, we talked about high school reunions and what it'd be like for Manuch to MC, and he could not imagine how long he would talk. But Manuch also slipped up because apparently there's a new dance called the West Coast Slide.
Ever. I can only imagine going to one of those and you're the MC.
Oh yeah. That's when and the West Coast Slide was big 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, that
West
dance.
Coast Slide.
Yeah, there was a song with there's a little dance with it going on, and it was just kind of big, and kind of had to lead the charge. The West Coast. Me and Judy Beecher.
The electric slide was a popular dance. Electric slide. You said Western.
I mean,
slide.
electric
You
slide.
said West Coast slide.
West Coast slide.
West
slide. Leave it to me to bring clarity to this show. Yeah.
The slide song. I can think of it. I can hear it. in my
West
voice.
Coast Slide, folks. Hey, good stuff, Jax. Coach, the coach is set. So what does this mean for the Phoenix Suns? What are their biggest off-season needs? The voice of the Suns, Kevin Ray, will join us next. It's Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Behold. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Coming off their first road series win over the Dodgers in 6 years, the Diamondbacks look to keep some momentum going as they play the Marlins tonight at home to begin a weekend series. The 5-3 Zach Gallen will be on the mound at his fourth career appearance against the franchise he broke into the majors with in 2019. The Athletic reporting that the Suns will have a workout with Bronny James before the NBA draft. LeBron's son played one season at USC. Playoffs tonight, the Mavs visit the Timberwolves. Minnesota trails 1-0 in the Western Conference Finals. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Rangers host the Panthers down 1-0. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, we'll look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the 70s, but some breezy conditions. Those breezy conditions going to last into your Saturday as well, with some cooler temperatures on tap. Most everybody in the low valley seeing temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale is here. Get a Sleepy's Queen mattress at the lowest price ever, just $89.99. This deal ends Tuesday, so don't wait. Visit Mattress Firm and save over 60%. In-store pickup only while supplies last. Find your nearest one today.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Life's a sprint. Meet G2G protein bars. Grab and go fuel for the office, links, and daily grind. Score an 8-pack at Costco or explore flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, power-packed G2G protein bars. Setting your pace.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
With Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot, you can give your lawn or garden beds a pop of color and protection. Right now, get a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10. Help your soil retain moisture longer with color that lasts up to 12 months. Shop Memorial Day savings for a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family.
No answer from K-Ray.
$25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
I'll let you know if I get him. You're live.
Phoenix Suns, they have a massive offseason ahead of them, I think it's fair to say. The draft, they own the 22nd pick. Some consider this draft to be weak, but it could be someone that kind of fits what they're looking for. Point guard, right?
Absolutely.
They got their
high priority.
They got their coach. We knew that was big. And I don't know what they can do with the free agent class. What's out there, what's going to be available.
They're limited.
Trying to find ways to maximize the little money they have to be able to do anything. I think that's going to be tough. But I think when you look at the offseason need, and if we catch up with Kevin Ray, of course, we can talk about that. You know, they're deep in this luxury tax. But when you come into the fact that, okay, point guard, you know, I'm at the barber, okay, and, what do you think about the Suns?
Got him.
In the first thing, it's point guard. Guys that never even played a game. They all think that needs to happen. Kevin Ray joins us, the voice of the Phoenix Suns, here on the Right to a Guest side. How we doing, K-Ray? How are you, bud?
Happy Memorial Day weekend, boys and girls.
Yeah, I mean, you're at the gym like 3 days a week, or 3 days. I'm sorry, 3 times a day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rock.
So I'm sure you're going. I'm sure you're going somewhere to take off that shirt on a boat or something, right, for the weekend, heading back east.
Oh yeah, sun's out, guns out, baby.
So K-Ray, Mike Budenholzer now in charge. Somewhat limited what kind of moves they can or cannot make. So when you look at this team, as Rock alluded to, the point guard or backup point guard, I mean, does that become a real possibility during this offseason that somebody can, maybe even as a backup point guard, maybe take control at some point during a game, you think?
I mean, I think it's certainly an area that they will closely examine. And, just based on Mike's, comments following the press conference about, probably needing a point guard. And as you mentioned, they're going to be somewhat limited as to level of coverage you might get. But with that being said, I think the one thing that we had said, especially in the second half of the season, is, you don't need like an all-star point guard, but you could use a facilitator, a table setter, an organizer. And so I think that's something that they will certainly take a look at as he continues to assemble his staff. And, they just spend more time together and looking at this roster and seeing what makes the most sense.
It's interesting because which was leading to all that was that the fourth quarter worse than in NBA, ball handling, turnovers, all the above, which kind of led to all of that. And it just kind of struck me as, okay, you got 3 of the top, let's say, top 15, top 20 basketball players on the court at the same time. Somebody to maybe just get them in motion. And K-Ray, I think we all can think when Steve Nash had the ball or KJ had the ball, whatever, it just seemed a smoother flow where those guys were more productive when you had that point guard, so to speak.
Yeah. And look, I think in many ways, it made sense to some degree in terms of the thought process when you have 3 high-level scorers like that. Not wanting to have the ball taken out of their hands. But at the same time, their strengths and their greatest attributes in some ways were being diminished because they were handling the ball as much as they were. And really it was Brad and Book. We saw KD handle it on limited basis, but really it was KD and Brad. And while they could do it, you are also minimizing and diminishing some of their greatest value and talent, which is playing off the ball. And sure. I think the feeling was eventually they would find that balance, but it just never came to fruition, unfortunately.
What was most frustrating for you and Eddie during the broadcast this year? Was it the 2 steps forward, the 10 steps back, and finally, when they win 7 out of the last 10, the one of the toughest stretches ever in the NBA or that type of thing, and then to see this team lay that proverbial egg for those 4 games, was that it, or did you see a lot of this somewhat coming this way?
Well, I don't want to say that I saw it coming, but I think, I think anybody who watched this team for the majority of the season, we all, I think, shared the collective thought, which was, okay, there's extreme levels of talent on this team. We've seen the possibilities. But at the end of the day, the idea, and certainly I came in to the postseason hopeful that all of a sudden you would find that kind of long-term rhythm, because that's what would be required for, a deep postseason run. I think even the most optimistic outlook, if you're really being honest with yourself, you had to say, but the realities are, and the percentages don't add up to that. And I think that's what we saw, play out. And it just, I think in many ways, the worst possible scenario, as much as people said, oh, the Suns matched up great with Minnesota, you looked at the regular season. Well, first off, you've got to discount so much of the regular season. And I think in a lot of ways, because they played them the week before and drilled them as bad as they did on their home floor, I think there was also even maybe a false sense of security of what the Suns players thought they might be able to do. And Minnesota quickly, delivered, a couple of haymakers early, and obviously, the team was never able to recover. But, the longest win streak of the season was 7 games. And, that was one of the things to me that in some ways was telling. There was a couple of other 4-game win streaks, but, for the talent that was on this team, you felt like there should have been at least, 1, if not 2 double-digit win streaks. And you couple that with, I could point to, they won 49 games. I could point to 10 games directly that were lost as a direct result of turnovers, So you take those 10, you're 59 wins, you're the number 1 seed. It just, things just never clicked together at the same time through, a variety of reasons, starting with the injuries.
Kevin, speaking of together, you think behind the scenes at all there was any conversation of blowing up the big 3, or is this just media talk, fans talk?
No.
Yeah.
No, look, you really, there's only one move that you could make. One, as we know, Brad has a no trade clause.
Yep.
Like you would have to convince him for the second time in just over a year to pick up his family and move again.
Sure.
That's not happening. The other possibilities would obviously be Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Does anybody really think that Devin Booker is going to get put on the trade block?
Mm-hmm.
No. Kevin Durant would be your only real tradable piece if that's something that you wanted to consider. But when you look at it, you'd also be saying and admitting, that trade was not successful. And I don't think that you can afford to do that after, let's be honest. It was really just one full season, because KD coming in after the trade goes down with the injury. He plays 8 regular season games and then the handful of the playoff games they had last year. So lots of conjecture. And look, as we know, that's what we call it silly season, because people start formulating trades and ideas and all that. And we haven't even gotten into the really silly season once the NBA finals wrap up and you get close to the draft. So I do believe that they will, stand pat with this big 3, try to continue to build around them. You've got a new coaching staff, there'll be lots of new voices in the room, and that you hope that, these 3 can duplicate when they were healthy, what they did, this past year, moving forward with a new voice in their ear.
Well, and speaking of that, Kevin, you've been watching Mike Budenholzer coach for many, many years doing the broadcasts when, he was in Atlanta and being with Milwaukee and being an assistant with San Antonio. Where do you see a difference? What can fans expect to see that haven't really paid attention to watching Milwaukee and Atlanta over the last several years from a Mike Budenholzer-led team?
Yeah, I think the first thing you're going to see is, and this is no disrespect to Frank Vogel. Frank was, a great guy. He was great to me and our group. But I think there was a general feeling that the level of accountability for everybody on the team was not at the level that it needed to be with everything that had been invested with this roster. And I think you're going to start there. I mean, Mike Budenholzer comes from the Greg Popovich coaching tree. I've talked to a couple people since the hire, and just knowing what I know of Bud, watching him, coach against the Suns, both with the Hawks and with Milwaukee. He is a guy. He's a hard charging coach. He will demand accountability, and he will demand everybody to be on the same page. And so you start there. And if that message begins in training camp, and really even before training camp, and remains consistent, I think even something subtle like that can make a huge difference.
So he's looking for more 3-point shooting. He said he wants all the guys to work on the threes. But sometimes it's hard to put a square peg in a round hole, you would think. But they're all shooters. They're all great shooters. But that extra 3 or 4 feet, your sidekick there, Eddie Johnson, I'm just curious to see how much more that will be as far as being more accurate with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've talked about it, and we've certainly all seen it with our own eyes. I mean, the league has gone and evolved into being more of a 3-point shooting league with everybody. And the reality is, you have to pose that threat. And I think certainly, we saw Nurk early on in the season, try his hand at that. So I can see him, being asked to get up more threes. I mean, Nurk's got a good looking 3-point shot when it's coming off his hand, but it's just a matter of, building that consistency and, more importantly, the confidence that comes with it. And then everybody else, because the way the league is set up offensively and the way the teams, defend you on the other end of the floor, it is critical that you become. You don't have to be an elite 3-point shooting team, but you better be in the top 5, top 10 if you want to be able to, contend and make a deep run, because that's just where we're at in the NBA right now.
Kev, being the radio voice of the Dallas Cowboys as well, you have a lot of friendships there in Dallas. How crazy is that city going right now with basketball and NHL and people talking Cowboys, the Rangers coming off a World Series? Dallas, the Metroplex must be just going absolutely crazy right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they say, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, the heads of all their sports fans well to points that are indescribable. But yeah, they are in the midst of a great run that any city that has those franchises. Of course, Phoenix is no longer on that list. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah,
but
ditto.
yeah, they're enjoying that run right now and feeling pretty good about themselves.
Well, K-Ray, what time's the gun show? What lake are you going to be at?
We'll send out a last minute notice.
Okay, got it. An Evite.
We don't want the crowds. We don't want the crowds to swell to such levels that security won't be able to handle it.
And Rock, that's after he does those first 3 commercials he's got to do tomorrow.
Yeah,
too.
Frank Thomas will be there. Doug Flutie, they'll all be there. Yeah.
Don't undersell K-Ray. Come on now.
Good stuff. Kev, thanks for the time, buddy. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Manuch, I don't know who that guy is on with you, but he sounds uncannily like Mike Morocco.
Yeah. We gotta go. Gotta get paid the bills, Kev. Gotta go. See you, buddy. You the man.
You knew the shot was coming.
Yeah.
Just
a matter of time.
For the rope-a-dope, baby.
That's K-Ray, the voice of the Phoenix Suns. Also does the national broadcast for the Dallas Cowboys as well. You can follow him on Twitter. A great follow. K-Ray1 Voice. So K-Ray1 Voice. So check him out. Let's appreciate his time today. Tell you what's on tap for the weekend. Kind of give you your schedule when it comes to when the D-backs are playing, as well as all the playoffs in the NBA and the NHL. That's next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Time to win some bonus bucks. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar bills yet. When you hear the keyword at the top of the hour, weekdays from 9 to 5. Enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000, powered by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. Interact, need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today, 977-1900.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
There is an accident being reported. Loop 101 Price Freeway, southbound connector to the US 60 Superstition Freeway with stop-and-go traffic from University. Also an accident northern at 23rd Avenue and a crash Roosevelt at 28th Street.
This report is sponsored by your Valley Toyota dealers. Toyota's Summer Starts Here national sales event is going on now. Choose from best-selling Toyotas like Camry, Highlander, RAV4, Tacoma, Tundra, and more. Visit any one of the 10 Valley Toyota dealers or valleytoyotadealers.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, has been cooling their customers for over 35 years. Fogco provides their customers with results that exceed their expectations, with reliable misting and fogging solutions that you can count on all summer long. Head to fogco.com.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the back side of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
It's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Duke's, because there's only one Duke's. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Shut it!
Lowe's knows every project starts with the right tools and equipment. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select battery 2-pack. Plus, save $50 on a V20 string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now only $99. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Toyota, 70 and Frank Lloyd Wright in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
You're live. All right, we'll get to what's on tap here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and then we'll get to our
State 48 roofing. It's your call question of the day.
Yes, we'll get into that. We have a couple of them, so we'll get both. We'll get results on both. So here's what's on tap for the weekend. Kind of get your schedule. I'm not even going to throw out Monday, but I'll give you tonight. You got 6:40 start with the D-backs hosting the Marlins. But before that, you got Panthers and Rangers at 5. That is on ESPN Game 2. Timberwolves Mavs. That's at 5:30 on TNT. Tomorrow, Saturday, D-backs will be at, they will be 7 o'clock, 7:10 on FS1. So it's a national game. Usually those games start at 5:30 on a Saturday. Game 3, Celtics and Pacers 5:30, ABC 15, TNT 5 o'clock. We'll have Oilers and Stars. Sunday, a lot going on Sunday. Day game for the D-backs, 1:10 first pitch there. The Indianapolis 500 will start the morning off at 9:30 on NBC, and then followed by, for you NASCAR fans, the Coca-Cola 600 at 3 o'clock. The Timberwolves and Mavs at 5, and I know jumping around, and the Rangers at Panthers at noon. So there you have it.
All right, our State 40 Roofing Get Your Call question today. We got 2 of them. You just go to Roc and Manuch. You can vote on both of them. Number 1 was, who is the greatest Boston Celtic of all time? Bill Russell, Larry Bird, John Havlicek, or Kevin McHale. Larry Bird, 53.8% is number 1, followed by Bill Russell, 38.5%. John Havlicek, Hondo, 7.7%, and Kevin McHale, 0%. And then, do you make French fries at your Memorial Day barbecue? Yes or no? So no, 81.8%, and yes, 18.2%.
Wow.
So there's a small fraction that does.
Very small fraction.
Yeah, 20%, basically, if you round it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's people out there that have fries with their
Very
barbecue,
few.
Rock.
Very few.
But, most people probably got the potato salad going
Yep.
with the chips and with their barbecue, whether it be brats or hot dogs.
So the more
or-
that you think about that, that was 2 hours ago. Do you still think that the consensus is that people cook French fries at their barbecue?
Well, I know at the Manucci household
just a simple question.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I don't care about the Manucci household. In general, the consensus.
I guess not. I guess fries are not part of their barbecue.
They're not.
You know,
Thank you.
you know.
My point was
but 20%, it is part of their barbecue.
18.2. Yeah.
The minority right there.
So, but there you have it.
We got Monday off, Rock. Memorial Day, we're going to have it off? You going to give us a day off?
I guess.
All
I
right.
didn't think about it. Yeah, I'll be off on Monday.
Barbecue at your place?
No.
I'll bring the wine.
I'll bring
Not for you
not
guys.
the French
I would
fries?
have Jack. I would have Jax come. I would
You
have
bring the
Jax
fries?
would be fun. He's invited. You and Jimmy B, not a chance.
Oh, we are you kidding me? We would be
1
the
minute.
life of the party for all your folks. You could kind of, by the way, you put me to work at your barbecue.
I did?
Yeah, I was back there, burgers, ribs.
Because you offered. Because I was
yeah.
trying to save. I was trying to help my guests.
Oh, is that what it was?
'Cause if I kept you occupied, you wouldn't talk their ear off.
Hey, Manuch, here's the big plate of ribs and
Cook 'em.
barbecue. Here's ribs. There's burgers. There's dog. You got a big old grill, Rock. I love that bad boy.
Hey, Richie, when you get in your car, you're gonna have Taylor Swift going.
Not today. Not today.
Okay, all right, there you go. If you missed anything, we had a nice conversation about Taylor Swift and Ticketmaster.
She
Go to
rules, man.
rockandmanuch.com.
Yeah,
The
she
complete
rules.
podcast is up on the iHeartRadio app. Make sure you download that. Hey, have a safe weekend. Seriously, we'll see you back here.